Good evening. The time is 7 p.m. on Monday, December 15th. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I look for a motion to accept the warrants.
So moved.
I will second. Yeah, I will second that. Any discussion?
Just in there that the porta potty at the boat launch is owned by the town now, and that it's broken, so we'll need to look at it and see about getting it fixed. The porta potty.
Why do we own it?
Yeah.
There's a note right on the bill. We own it, and
What's the bill for?
broken.
Did they just come and clean it?
Cleaning it.
Oh, okay.
It has been brought to my attention that the unit at the boat launch has been damaged. The door is difficult to open. The unit was purchased by the town of Limerick years ago, with repairs being the town's responsibility. Please let us know if you need assistance with this repair.
Do you want me to see if Isaac can fix it? Or
Yeah, I guess we'll have to assess the damage, see what's broken. The door is difficult to open, so. Yeah, if we can have Isaac take a look at it. Yeah.
It's the one with the focus, right?
Yep, the boat launch. Yeah, because the one at Boy Scout Island is gone for the winter.
Yeah, the others.
So, all right, is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? And abstaining?
Looked at him yet.
Yep. Would somebody read the announcements, please?
The town clerk and tax collector will close on Fridays at noon for the remainder of the year. The planning board will meet on Wednesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. The budget committee will meet on Thursday, December 18th at 7 p.m. And the select board will meet on Monday, December 22nd at 7 p.m. The municipal building, library, and transfer station will be closed on Wednesday, December 24th, and Thursday, December 25th, and Friday, December 26th for the holiday. The Select Board is looking for members to join a comprehensive committee. If interested, please contact Alicia at 793-4475 or selectboardadmin@limerickme.org. As part of the Hearing of Citizens policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public, will be tolerated during any meetings. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons outside the public meeting. Please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org. And available elected positions for the Town of Limerick Annual Town Meeting, Friday, March 13th, 2026. Nomination papers available beginning 12/3/25, and papers must be returned to the Limerick Town Clerk's Office, 1/12/2026. Select Board Assessor and Board of Overseers, 3-year term. There's another one for Select Board Assessor and Board of Overseers, 3-year term, and a Select Board Assessor and Board of Overseers, 2-year term. RSU 57 Director, a 3-year term. 3-year term on the Planning Board. Actually, there is 3 of those. Budget Committee member, a 3-year term. Library Trustee, 3-year term. And another one for the Library Trustee, another 3-year term. Trustees of the Limerick Sewer District, 3-year term. And Trustee of the Limerick Water District, 3-year term.
Perfect, thank you. And we will take a step back. I look for approval of the November 24th meeting minutes.
So moved.
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. We will go to department reports.
Did I not print the first?
I did not see the first, no.
My bad.
I don't have it. I
just
don't
must
know.
have not
Yeah.
printed them.
Okay. I have Gail Libby Revitalization Committee as well as Wendy Thorne.
Good evening, Gail Libby, Revitalization Committee. Last week, we sent the board 2 proposals for consulting services for the Bricktown Hall that we went out for bid on. The process we used was we called a historic commission in Augusta and asked for a list of architectural firms that might do this kind of work and talked about that with them. And they did send us a list. We looked at that list. Each one of them had a website. We chose 3, and we sent out bids. We received 2 bids back. One from a firm called Barber and Wheelock, and another one from Envelope Architects. Both of them have been working in Maine for some years. We had put together a list of what we would look at and told them that we would gauge their bids on these specific points. Many of the points, they were absolutely equal. They're both wonderful firms. But we felt, the committee felt, we got the bids back and we all met and we looked at these bids and we looked at them for a couple weeks and put things side by side. And Barber and Wheelock, we felt, did more projects like the ones we were asking for the Bricktown Hall. They have a ton of experience, and they explained that experience in their bid, which you have a copy of. And the second thing that they were different on was the price. Barber and Wheelock came in at $8,400 and for the deliverables that we asked for in the bid. And Envelope Architects came in at $15,500. The committee would like to recommend Barber and Wheelock be awarded this bid. The deliverables include a report that we'll be able to use for grant writing. It will also include specifications for those grants and beginning a point of specifications for construction bids. Any building that takes on, that's town-owned, that takes on a public safety project like egress has to have an architect or an engineer involved. That's state law. Also in 2018, the town of Limerick voted that capital projects, and this is still in place, that capital projects of town-owned buildings would take priority over other new projects that weren't town-owned, okay, that the town was doing. So that's our recommendation. Do you have any questions?
What's the areas you're concentrating on?
Well, our main area is second egress. That will take most of the time, and most of their work will be done in that area. But we tagged on a roof drainage system, gutter system, especially in the front. If you were to walk up there today, you'll notice about halfway up the ramp, there's a 5x3 section that's solid ice because the water is running off of the roof, hitting that ramp, and it's solid ice. It damages the cement over time, but it's a safety issue also. And the trim on that building is wooden, and you'll see the paint is coming off it now, but a lot of it is due to water damage, over time. That was done probably 20 years ago. It was painted about 20 years ago. So it needs to be painted, but I'm hoping you're taking that into consideration in your repair budget for the town hall next year. Energy efficiency, we're going to just look and see if we can, if storm windows would help. in that building. So we'll be asking that question, but again, it's a minor point of this whole thing. It's second egress. But they're there in the room, and we felt we could ask them at the same time. Second egress was voted on last March, and a capital project was approved for it to begin this process.
Now, is that to replace what is there now?
Replace what is there?
Egress, where are you talking in the building?
I don't know. We have to have a second egress according to the fire chief of the, fire marshal of the state of Maine.
Say what part of the building?
No, they want a plan. They want a plan, and state law says we have to have an architect or an engineer involved. And both of these firms have engineers at their disposal. You know, that's usually part of an architectural firm puts together a team. Barber and Wheelock has one, I think, right on payroll. It's part of their team as a permanent basis. Envelope Architects has a company they work with closely. The other points in this, there could be additions, because if we go beyond the scope of this for some reason, because we have to, there would be additional fees. If we ask for more meetings than 3, there would be additional fees, and they both were equal on that part, so it doesn't matter. But if we stay right to the letter of this agreement, we'll do our best. It would be $8,400 for Barber and Wheelock and $15,500 for Envelope Architects.
Have they given you any figures if you go over that?
Yes, and they're in there. They give you hourly. If Barber and Wheelock has to come to give a public hearing or come to speak to you folks, any public meeting is $800. If they give hourly rates for architects and senior architects and intern architects, so it depends on who you have to accomplish what we didn't put in this thing, okay? But reimbursables, Barber and Wheelock wants $150 per mileage trip,
I don't seem to have that
copying,
yet.
postage, whatever. It's on page 4 of the agreement. And envelope,
Oh, I got one sheet here.
well, you have the
I
agreements.
got both of them together?
Yeah.
I don't know. Envelope gets 70 cents a mile. If they print a 24 by 36 copy, that must be a blueprint, right? They want $550 for it. If you want to get an additional architect, it's $185 an hour. So they're about the same if you go over. And that's standard process. You hope you've bid it out correctly.
I know Article 23, we voted to, and it passed to move $30,000 and transfer up to $30,000 to a capital project. That capital project account is named Bricktown Hall Second Egress, and this focuses on more than just the second egress. So I would have to do some investigating to see if we can pay for that out of that account. I would assume we could pay for a portion of it, but where it was voted on for the second egress.
So the roof drainage, and the roof drainage is repairs and maintenance. Now, energy efficiency, I don't know if you consider storm windows repair and maintenance or not, and we don't have to address it. We can just take that right out of the bid, tell them that we don't want it. So I'm thinking roof drainage or a gutter system.
Yeah, but I mean,
We can change this.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, number 4, under the Barbara and Wheelock, has resolved the second means of egress. That is line 4 of 12. So I would just want to make sure
It's
that,
from the 3rd floor. It's all 3 floors.
yep, I just want to make sure that we would be able to, or look to see where we could, but pay that 8,500 out of, because the capital project account is named Bricktown Hall second egress. So I
Okay.
don't want to
Oh, that's
pay
fine.
some portion of that to gutter
Yep.
repairs.
Yep.
It's gonna come under maintenance.
Yeah. I would assume a portion of it could be paid out of that capital project reserve account, because it's a second egress, if we can get a price breakdown on.
Aren't there funds still available in this year's Bricktown Hall? I thought there was quite a bit. I think there was still a lot in there because you added $18,000 of insurance money to that account that you didn't spend. At least the reports I've seen.
Should be 18,609.
18,609, yeah, that was never spent. You took money out to cut down trees from the Bricktown Hall. Okay, but there was
But that was,
18,000,
I was gonna say, that's not, the 18 is not on this part of it.
but the 18,600 is on the books for
For the
2020.
For the insurance.
Yes.
Yep. I believe that.
What's in the account right now, do you know? Can you tell?
Mine was 11.3, and I know this number's not right, because this doesn't have the tree money taken out of it. It still shows
2025, do you have that number?
The beginning number?
What's left in the Bricktown Hall account?
Well, if you take out the 17 that we transferred, it would be
Mhm.
around 12,000.
But I think there's an adjusting entry. The auditor said to put the 18 into the
Yeah,
Bricktown Hall.
that's not showing.
That's a
true.
2024 entry, I think, but that's what, according to the
No, we did get that.
preliminary audit report, it looked like the auditors were saying that money should go into the Bricktown Hall.
Yeah, it should, because
That's-
that's what we got it for. That's what the insurance claim was.
You'd have to look at the audit to make sure, so I think it's 18 plus the
I mean,
11.
this is probably a little bit lower. I say 12, but we probably have paid another oil bill or electric bill or
So
so.
I think the whole thing could come out of this year's Bricktown Hall if you deemed that possible, Brady. I'm not sure. You wouldn't even have to touch the 30,000.
Yeah,
You just,
yep,
it's fine.
yeah, no, I'm looking at the budget right now.
Mm-hmm.
It says that there is $23,000 left in the buildings and grounds, but 17 of that was taken out for.
Or 17, yeah, we transferred.
So the total unexpended balance of the Bricktown Hall budget is $27,960, according to this report, as of 12/10.
Okay.
If you take out the 17,000, that leaves 10,960.
Gail's right, there is $18,000
Yep.
insurance.
And that's still relevant right now, so I don't know if you can set that aside for this. I don't know. But I do know you got funds to choose from. Thank you. Any other questions? I'll leave it up to you.
I don't have any other questions.
I really questioned, last week, we were talking about the storm windows.
Yeah.
I questioned that expenditure for a simple reason. My experience has been that you do not gain anything by putting those on, because you're gaining, as far as R factors are concerned, right now you have an R factor of 1. And the most you're gonna get out of any combination window is 1, no matter how you look at it.
Okay.
And we're not gonna gain anything as far as substantial amount of savings.
And they might say that
Hey.
same thing and recommend what we can do to improve the energy efficiency of the building, which we hear.
Something else out there that I don't know about.
Right, exactly. So we just want to ask that question. Again, it's going to be a very small part of of this whole thing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us know.
Yeah.
You'll let us know.
Yeah.
I'm here to ask for the money. How's that? So I've written up 3 articles. We're asking for $10,000 for grant requisition. So let me read the articles to you first. The first article is capital project account. This is to create the account. Shall the town vote to establish a new capital account, Fund 3, entitled Capital Project Grant Acquisition for the purpose of supporting professional services and costs associated with preparing grant applications for restoration, renovation, preservation, handicap accessibility, and energy efficiency projects for the town of Limerick properties. And the reason I've done this article is this way, because if this article gets voted in, and the other 2 don't get voted in, you do have it for the future for people to, you wouldn't have to ask to create the account. So the first article is, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 for the purpose of supporting grant acquisition activities, including professional services and costs associated with preparing revitalization grant applications, and send funds to be applied to the capital project account, grant acquisition account. And the next account is, or article, excuse me, shall the town vote to transfer $5,000 from, I have undesignated, I believe it's supposed to be unassigned because a gap changed the verbiage, fund balance into the capital account entitled Capital Project Acquisition. You can do it one of 2 ways. It's up to the board how you want to gain the money. You can say $10,000 from unassigned, or raise and appropriate $10,000 from, for those purposes. And grants are a good thing. Some people don't like them because they think they're a lot of work. They are a lot of work. When we did I was on the committee for the fire department, which we received $1.8 million, for water and sewer, $1 million, and then $750,000. Several years ago, many years ago, Gail had written a grant for $10,000 to Stephen King Foundation. We got that. And the town has received over the years money through grants for several projects, and I think that we need to continue doing and looking for grant money. And John Cleveland is usually the person that we have look for these grants for us, and he does a very good job at finding grant money. And you were just discussing the windows. I know several years ago that we had gotten grants for the windows to be done on the 2nd floor, I believe it was. And where'd that come from, Gail? Private company.
$50,000.
So did you get copies of the articles that I had written up?
I think, yeah, I mean, I got them, I reviewed them. I had to leave work early today, but yeah, right. I did review them last week.
I did meet with the budget committee the other night, last Thursday night. We got kind of switched around the one night I was supposed to be here. Did you get one, Howard?
An email?
No, a printout.
I didn't get anything here.
Yeah, they all have packets.
So like I said, it's up to you whether you want to put $10,000 into, take it out of unassigned, or raise and appropriate $10,000, or split it out.
I know we budgeted $5,000 this year for grant writing, and
still have five.
according to the reports, we still have $5,000 in that account.
You put it in under administration though, didn't you?
That's
Correct.
where it is now, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see an issue with moving that out of that. I think we kept it the same for next year.
Well, it is the same, and I know we chatted at the budget meeting whether we would do that again or put it into it.
I would put it into the capital project account for this reason. While you can do an article that states to transfer the funds from the administration account, but with a capital project account, usually those funds will stay until the project is done, so you don't have to keep asking to transfer it. That's your easiest accounting way to do it. Yeah. I would say for this year, though, I would take the 5,000 and transfer it, and then take 5,000 out of unassigned.
All right. Is there a motion on these articles?
So moved.
I will second them, or second for discussion. So these articles, I think, at the end of the day, we'd only be raising 5,000 for it, because we did 5,000 this year. It will go into the undesignated, and it will be transferred from the undesignated. Steve?
So if we take the 5 that's in there now and put it in a capital project, can we still use it for, like, if the fire department wanted something, or? Because that wouldn't be a capital project, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we should discuss some language somehow, just to make sure we could use it for everything, because that was set up for everything in town. Now we're gonna limit.
Well, it would be for the capital project grant acquisition for the purpose of supporting professional service and costs associated with preparing grant applications for restoration, renovation, preservation, handicap accessibility, and energy efficiency projects for the town of Limerick properties. So it would. It,
Fire department has $2,000 in their budget for grant writing, I believe, this year. And next year, in 2026. So they're taking care of themselves.
Well, that's only 2,000, what if it
Well,
costs
they
more?
asked for 2,000.
That's fine, what they asked for, but we've always had 5 for everybody. Well, let's say Ricky wanted something.
but yeah, I mean, the way that this is written, it's a capital project for grant acquisitions across the for the town of Limerick properties.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any further discussion on these? So there's a motion and a second. All those in favor? All right. And then is there a motion for a recommendation on, if the select board recommends a yes vote, on the amounts written, the 5,000, and then transferring the 5,000 from the undesignated?
I'll make a motion to accept them, the 3 articles with the dollar amount as written.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Thank you. All right. Is that all you guys had for the revitalization?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. With that being said, I open it to hearing of citizens.
Steve McLean, how have we made out with that camera for up at the lookout?
It was installed today.
We got it installed, so
Yep.
that's all looking really good. Anybody hear anything on the auditor? Are we,
I reached out last week to the town treasurer to see where we were at with the audit report, and she told me she is trying to find time to make the budget and to make the journal entries. And,
from last year?
yep, and that's what we're waiting on to submit back to the auditor to confirm the audit.
If we can't get it by the end of the year, could we just get if we're plus or minus, that would help the budget?
Yeah, I can certainly reach out to the auditor and ask.
If you can't get details, say, do we look like we're over or under?
Yeah,
Because that would make a difference. We don't need the final figure, but that would help out a lot to know. That at some point in the next month, we gotta make the final crunch.
Good evening. Question about 3 Division. Stan's been sending a bunch of emails, fairly lengthy, a little confused on a couple of them. Email I got said on the 14th, they had till sundown to get out of the residence.
Yep.
And then not come back without, not supposed to be there. Is that
Correct.
correct?
yep.
Okay. Well, they're in there right now. when I got home. There's lights on in the house. Haven't
Okay.
left.
I will reach out to Stan to have him call the state police.
Okay.
It was posted against occupancy, officially posted condemned, and padlocked today. I
Okay.
was there to watch it get padlocked, so they broke and entered, and they are considered trespassing and will be arrested.
The lights, there's like flashlights or small lights towards Chad's house.
Okay,
I noticed it when I come home. I wasn't going to come tonight, but I noticed that. I
Yeah.
wanted clarification.
yeah,
Yeah, it kind of come to a head on Friday night. They were over there arguing, hooting and hollering. That suspected drug vehicle that I complained about a few weeks ago, that was back. They were out there yelling about, give me my effing money. So I appreciate the quick action and making the neighborhood safe, because, you know, we have vehicles coming in with their lights off and doing shady shit at night, and, you know, just had enough.
Yep.
You know, I want my neighborhood safe again. I've
Yeah.
been living in that house for 19 years and dealt with a lot of nonsense next door, so.
yeah.
she-
I will, I'll reach out to Stan to see if he can
Okay.
contact the state police, because
They're in there right now.
they broke the padlocks then.
They're-
Ricky, you didn't use long enough screws. I know, I watched you use them. I'll reach out to Stan.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Is there any other hearing of citizens? I'm seeing none. I will move on to old business.
Okay. First off, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignations of John Medici and Bernie Carroll from the Select Board.
I will second that. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Discussion of the fire chief contract. Resignation. I would make a motion to accept the contract as written and sign the contract as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion second. Is there any discussion?
I disagree with the way that is. I didn't bring it tonight, but I highlighted a number of areas in it that I think should be changed.
Okay, we had an executive session set up to go over that, and Jared was here at the station, ready to go over that, to discuss any issues, concerns, questions, and you said that we should not have the executive session. So I feel that the executive session was to talk about said contract, clear any questions up, make any changes, and you didn't want the executive session. So I don't know. Is there any other discussion?
My only question is, a few years back, the town voted to have a full-time fire chief at set amount. Now we have a 12 to 18-hour fire chief at set amount. That's not even really part-time. Has it been considered to go out for hiring to see if we can get anybody else in at either a lower rate or the full-time position?
Do you want to answer that? Okay.
Yeah, so it's Jared's contract, so it's, you know, would have been his conversation to have in that executive session, but I am familiar with it. The current hours are 24 hours. So how we got to this point as far as staying the permanent part-time, I believe is the terminology. When I gave my notice, we were building a job posting for the vacant position, and we asked the board, do you want to stay with this current model, or do you want to go with a full-time chief? Because that's obviously been a discussion for 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. So the guidance we were given was keep the model we have. So it is 24 hours. Jared is currently a deputy chief. He works 16 to 20 hours. We both do 16 to 20 now on paper. He's going to 24, and the deputy chief, that will resume, or we'll fill his position. When it becomes vacant, will be 16 hours. So it should be 40 hours of chief level supervision there. That's how we got there.
But the trouble with that, Vinny, it's not spread out over the week. It's basically 2 days, either Monday or Tuesday, and you guys aren't working soccer. We're looking at,
It depends week by week. I mean, we're there, Tuesday nights are our meeting nights, training nights. We have long days, we have shorter days, before this year, was always 3 or 4 days, depending on the hours in the day. Weekend events, nighttime events, trainings, meetings. It's economically, it's a good system. The work is getting done, and financially speaking, we talked about this at Budget Committee. We estimate we've saved probably $250,000 in the last 4 years with this model. So in theory, we should save somewhere in that same number in the next 4 years. It's not a deal that's going to last forever. It's still a small town. The call volume is reasonable for what we have for supervision there, in my opinion. That's going to go up. Population's going up. Call volume is going to go up. But the amount of administrative work that is required to run a fire department is significant. I mean, when you think about these cities along the coast, right, the bigger cities, the Biddeford, the Saukos, Sanfords, going up to Portland, we have to do the same stuff here. We have the same requirements for training, same requirements for maintaining equipment, hiring people, firing people, doing payroll, paying bills, projecting out, planning for the future, budgeting, all that is administrative work that people don't, they don't see that being done behind the scenes. They see a fire truck go by, they see an ambulance go by, they say, there's the fire department. Well, there's a lot more to it behind the scenes, and it takes, someone that has the knowledge to do that. Jared's been doing my job as essentially my assistant as deputy chief this year. So, I mean, he's got a good year under his belt of running operationally at incidents and doing the administrative end, which he's done a great job. I am super impressed. Right out of the gate, Jared started his part-time hours in January, and just happened to work out. This became a transition year, and he's above my expectations for what he's accomplished. Taking on projects, and we talk about grants. Last year, we got a $15,000 grant from the state of Maine, from Maine EMS. Jared did half the work on that. I did the financials. He did the operational part of it. We just received another grant this spring for $15,000. Jared did that grant 100% himself. So he's doing a good job. But that's how we got there. I know that's how I got here. They put up for a part-time fire chief, and I know, Laura, you had said maybe at a cheaper rate. I will guarantee you will not get a cheaper rate. Fire chiefs, granted, we're smaller, so this should scale down, to some degree, proportionally. But, chiefs in bigger cities, they get $140,000 plus benefits, another $25,000 benefits, call it. So I don't think, my opinion, I mean, obviously, the town needs to do what they think is right, but my professional opinion, this model works. We're budgeting $93,000 for next year. I think if you were with a full-time chief, I don't think you would get anybody in here. If you could get somebody for 100, I think you'd be doing very well. If you get somebody for 90, you'd be doing super well, but that number may be a little north of 100, and that's without benefits. You got state retirement, health insurance, dental insurance. It's not cheap. It's an important position. It's a very high responsibility position. The liability, I mean, we look out day in and day out for this town. It's always, what's the liability in the town? Somebody wants to, do X, Y, and Z. We look out for the town. That's what we do. We look to save money. We're constantly looking for better deals. That's what we do. We're always trying to provide the service we provide, which I think we provide a damn good service, and keep it, a reasonable amount of money. Our budget's a big number. I mean, it's over $800,000 now. That's a lot of money, but that's what it costs to have the service we have. And we have good service. I mean, there's communities around us. Waterboro's the exception, and Leamington has some full-time people, but kind of out around the other way, we're ahead of the curve. We got staffing 24 hours a day. I heard some talk recently about maybe curtailing nighttime coverage. So I ran the numbers. 35% of our calls are from 8 PM to 8 AM, and that's over 1/3 of our calls. So we're doing the best we can. We take the money the town gives us. We take that very seriously. I don't live in town, but I take that very serious. I'm a department head. My department has to function within that money and get the most out of it we can. And we do. We've gotten a lot of grants to get equipment, and we do what we can, so. But getting back to the full-time chief, I know you guys went down that road, and I remember watching the process. I was not interested in being a full-time fire chief. I wasn't really interested in being a fire chief, honestly. It just kind of came about, but I noticed right out of the gate, they were offering $60,000, and you're not getting anybody. I mean, obviously, that was over 4 years ago now. You're not getting, there's firefighters that work as career firefighters. They're making $75,000, $80,000. They're paramedics, they're in the $90,000 range. That's just where we are. I mean, look at paramedics here. Their pay's gone up $10 an hour in 4 years. I started, they were getting $19 an hour. They're $28.86 right now. So $10 increase just to have that level of skill and care for the people that we serve, kind of thing. So it's expensive. You can go that route. Like I said, when I first gave my notice, that was my first question. I'm building a job posting. Do you want full-time, or you want to stay permanent part-time? And the direction I was given was permanent part-time. So, and I think our model works. I think you get a good bang for your buck when the work's getting done and station staffed. And yeah, we're not perfect by any means. I feel like a lot of times, it seems with the fire department, we do one thing wrong, we hear about it, it makes the newspaper, it makes Facebook. But the 99 things we get right, we don't generally hear about that, but that's just the nature of our business, so. But, good.
My concern, as I said, you're there 2 days a week, basically. So what are we doing the other 5, as far as management? If we have a call.
Well, we're not there 24 hours a day regardless.
But if we have a fire, you guys aren't there. You're working.
Yep.
So who's running the show?
Well, the last incident we had was the gas incident. Robbie Fawcett's the assistant fire chief. He's actually number 2. Robbie's in town. He
works full-time over to
Yep.
the school.
Yep.
He can't
Well,
leave there for that.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do at nighttime? You want a chief on 24 hours a day? Now you're talking $300,000 or $400,000. It's not like, years ago, right? A lot of the firefighters, fire chiefs lived in town, worked in town. Sonny's a perfect example. In town all the time, has a business. Those days, they're not there. People talked about curtailing nighttime coverage. People can come from home. Those days are gone. People aren't getting out of bed. It's going to be 8 degrees tonight. Nobody wants to get out of bed, drive to the fire station, get an ambulance, and go to the ambulance call. It's a sign of the times. And to have a chief available 24 hours a day, you're available when you're available. And that's just the nature of the beast. We have to have a life too. When that gas call came in, I was in Florida. I go on vacation. I have a life. That's just the way. That's reality. And yeah, the more we have very competent staff. I always tell people, if the fire chief has to go to every single call in town, you got a bigger problem than the chief not being in town that day. If you can't trust your people, your lieutenants, your captains, your deputy chiefs, your assistant chiefs, to manage an incident, or your personnel, then you've got a bigger issue. You've got training issues and other leadership issues, et cetera. So the fire chief is like the CEO of a business. It's a lot of office work, it's a lot of administrative planning, budgeting, projecting, managing people, managing budgets. Major incidents. I've been out of town, we've had fires, and yeah, it's not enjoyable. You're listening, you're looking at, text messages, you're looking at, other social media and trying to see what's going on, but you just can't be here 24 hours a day. And it's just the way it is. My fire chief in Saco lives in Sanford. The Biddeford fire chief, he lives in Rochester. I mean, we just hired a new deputy. Matter of fact, came out today. It's the first chief we've had living in Saco in probably 6 years.
Is it full-time?
They're full-time. They're 40 hours a week. Yep. And there's 3 deputies and the chief. That's just the level of, there's a lot more equipment to manage. There's a lot more training to manage. There's a lot more, stuff that you gotta that you gotta manage, but, yeah. like,
But we're
You can
talking
get a
about-
40-hour guy, but it's not, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You can get a 40-hour guy, there's no guarantee they're here 24 hours a day. You know, they're gonna go on vacation, they're gonna go out to dinner, they're gonna, they're gonna have a life. You know, this is a job, and the days of the volunteers that, leave the factories and leave their farms and leave, any job they're working, yeah, those days are gone. Like, that just doesn't occur, and it's just, that's the challenge of rural fire and EMS, right? Everybody wants, call 911, have a police officer there in 3 minutes. They want an ambulance there in 3 minutes, a fire truck, a fire truck pulling up with, 6 firefighters getting off you there. That's the ideal situation, but it's just not a reality. I understand your point. I understand your point, 24 hours a day. It's, but people, we come into town when we're needed. Like, the staffing handles quite a few of the calls. It's not very often that a response that requires a chief level to come back on. I mean, the gas call, yeah, Robbie was around. I've come down 2 o'clock in the morning, do a cardiac arrest, and work that call. It's just the nature of the beast. Jared's here quite a bit, but we're here quite a bit outside of the regular hours. And you know what? I told the select board when I got hired, I'm not going to nickel and dime the town. We take phone calls all day long, text messages, emails. I'm always onto something. There's an email coming in, there's a text message, phone call. Now I'm at home and I take a half an hour phone call. I don't bill the town a half an hour. If I'm working on a project at home for 2 hours, yeah, I'm going to put on my time slip. But that's just part of the nature of our job. When I get done my day in Saco, the nighttime, we're kind of on our own. I fire up my Limerick computer. I get a lot of stuff done sitting in my bedroom working on Limerick stuff. It's just, I'm taking advantage of the time. It's just, with department heads, you got to, you trust us with $800,000. You got to trust us to run the department efficiently, effectively, and
You're close to $1 million on your budget.
in public safety.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the hydrants and the dog catcher. And
Like I said, my problem is you've got 2 people, 2 days a week to run $1 million operation. I think this needs more time.
And just before the vote, I think there's no, I'll call on you, I just want to say something. I think there's no secret that I'm a firefighter EMT at the Limerick Fire Department, and typically I do not vote on fire department related materials. That being said, the chief, while yes, he will be my employer, my boss, there is a rank of command, senior fire EMTs, and then the lieutenants, captains, deputy chiefs, assistant chiefs. So I personally believe that whoever the fire chief is, whether it's Chief Pelletier, Jared, Billy Bob Joe from down the road, whom it is does not reflect on, or I don't get any potential gain out of who it is. So I just wanted to say that.
yeah, Jared was appointed on September 29th.
September 29th.
The fire chief's already been appointed. That was a 4-to-1 vote. So I mean, you guys are voting on his work.
3-to-1, I abstained on that because we were a 5-person board. Cheryl?
I think it stems all back. The problem I have is when this all started, the town voted for a fire chief. They had the committee, which was disassembled or whatever. But, I mean, everybody talked about what they were going to get, how many hours they were going to work and everything. And it was the people, it was put out to the people, the citizens, to vote on this, this, and this. Well, somewhere along the line, the former select board decided that they were going to have an executive session and kick the people out of the discussion of what was going to go on. And they had this, from what I understand, executive is private, that this was the way it was going to be, and we were going to have a assistant fire chief, and we were going to split the hours here. The people never had a choice on that vote, and that's what this was originated. The citizens, the voters, the taxpayers, we should have been part of that. We could have gone, instead of 2 10 15-hour weeks, I don't know. Is the rumor out there that it's up to $90,000 for?
93.
$93,000
Yep.
for, can you tell me what a permanent part-time is?
Someone who works, I think it's in our personnel policy, it's less, 0 to 29
It's
hours.
either permanent or it's part-time. I can't see how it can be both. I mean, I worked part-time at the post office. Never worked 40 hours, but that was my, part-time.
52 weeks a year.
That's what we have is 52.
0 to
Yeah.
29 hours.
But, okay, so it's permanent, but how can it be permanent part-time? You're using both of the words together. It's either a permanent or it's part-time, but you always combine the two.
I think part-time, my interpretation of part-time is I had a part-time job in high school, and some weeks I worked 0 hours, the next week I worked 40 hours, and then I didn't work for 2 weeks. A permanent part-time is someone who works part-time hours on an ongoing 52-week basis. So they're permanently working the
So if you're
part-time
going to be at the
hours.
firehouse and you're going to have your office, I can't see how, then he says that you can get your work done in 2 days. It's just not, I don't know who wrote the plan up, but like I say, it should go back to the people. It should not be done privately in executive session. It's just not, it wasn't taken out of the people's hand properly or legally, actually, because the board always says, well, we can do what we feel is best for the taxpayers. Well, this decision was not, the former board was not the best decision of the taxpayers. I mean, I think we got cheated. We need to have our own decisions, what we're going to spend and how it's going to be spent. I mean, maybe we need a 15-hour fire chief, cut the pay, whatever. Maybe we need to have a policy, an application to go out to have someone rather than hire within. I mean, there's many different things that 3 or 5 people shouldn't have just the, privilege of doing it. It should go out to everyone because everyone is affected by this.
Thank you. Joanne?
I'm trying to think back, but we had a very professional, large group hiring panel that met week after week after week. Those meetings were all public meetings. Anybody could go. And they worked very diligently to come and get something that was for Limerick. It was, just for us. What did we need? What did we have to spend to get a decent fire department? And that's what that panel came down with, this concept, and it's worked well, very well. If you go back and expect people to work 24/7, how many fire chiefs would you need? 3 full-time fire chiefs that work 40 hours a week? I mean, that's ridiculous. It's not like it was 25, 50 years ago. And I think we got a good thing going, and I think it should stay that way.
One thing I'll say as far as one part of this contract is the pay scale. When we're talking the fire chief, $50 an hour, and then the deputy, $40 an hour. And basically, they've been in the office basically the same days, from what I can gather. So we're paying $90 an hour. It needs to, that figure has to be lower.
I'm not saying that we have to have a fire chief 24/7, that in this size town, no, we don't need that. But we need it spread out during the week, vacations, everybody has vacations, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it can be spread out as Howard has just said. But my biggest thing is, okay, Joanne says we had a committee, yes we did, and the people voted on what they had suggested that was good for the town, and that's where it stopped. The voters got kicked out of the whole thing. That's my biggest problem. We need to have a say the selectmen want to make up, or like the committee did, what this, but I mean, I can't see that it can just be secret executive sessions that go on, and it's not just the fire chief. I'm not just picking on him. It's the snow contract, it's the sidewalk contract, it's whatever contract you guys, the trash contract. You just want to extend it and push the people out. That's my problem. The people need to have a say.
Is there any other hearing of citizens? Or not hearing of citizens? Any other discussion? Steve?
Yeah, Steve McLean. I haven't read the contract or whatever. Wendy, I'm glad you're here. Wendy and I had a lot of discussions when Vinny was hired about working so many hours at the thing, doing shifts and everything else. Is Jared gonna do shifts too? I mean, you know, this is, the contract's one thing, I haven't read it, okay?
Yep, it's the same as the previous year's contract, except
Okay.
the hours have been increased to 16 to 24.
Right, is there
And
anything in there about doing shifts?
it is the exact same, the 16 to 24, and then the word, I think in there it said full-time, part-time. It has been changed to permanent part-time. But no, the contract is still the same.
I think, you know, the contract ought to include, if he's gonna be up there, that you could take a shift, all right? When you left the Bricktown Hall, that was what the people were told. I mean, ultimately, I said it 3 weeks ago. I still think there should be an article that the people say, do you want a full-time chief or a part-time chief? I think that'd be a good thing in March to have. Doesn't negate what you're doing here, but it's just a point. A lot of people still think we have a full-time chief, all right? And I think that's what they voted for unanimously. And, you know, I started that process saying we needed it, okay? Wendy, you were on the board. We all agreed that's what we needed, something to start with, okay? But it was supposed to be full-time. The part-time thing has worked out fairly good, okay? But still, we don't have, our requirements for a fire chief, paramedic, all right? But if we're gonna hire that and pay $50 an hour, they ought to be able to take a shift now and then and go to calls. And that'll save us, I don't know how much intercept money we've had this year, but if they're up there or they can take a shift and we don't have a paramedic, I think we got, what, 6 paramedics, Vinny? You know, we're getting better and better than we ever were. But at the same time, we ought to expect, I'm the one that opened my mouth right up there, it's all on tape. I wasn't gonna support a guy with a white shirt sitting in an office not helping out. And I'll stick to that, but I still think in March, I said it, there should be an article. Would you prefer a full-time chief or a part-time, permanent part-time, whatever the word is? Nothing against Jared, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that, but we're at a point now, we're doing 500-600 calls, okay? And an administrator / working chief would be better than an administrator.
I mean, and the deputy, the next deputy chief hasn't been selected yet, so it may not be. I work at the fire department, and they're not, I think there's one day of overlap a week, and the rest of it's spread out. I mean, I've said this before, there was a concern that was brought to me about Jared not being in town when we need it. The other day, he was at the station at 11 p.m. If we paid Jared or Chief Pelletier every hour that they were at the station, we would be paying $300,000 a year for their salaries. But with the new deputy, it very well could be somebody who lives in town and doesn't work anywhere else, and they're around 24/7. The new deputy hasn't been picked out yet. Oh, watch.
But with that said, okay, what's the requirements for the new deputy?
That was a shared internally. I mean, it was a job that was sent out.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is there a job description?
Yep.
What you gotta be, and how many hours, and there again, would they be doing a shift? If each one of them did a shift, that's 2 shifts.
Yep.
And then the paramedic one, or if that, I don't know if that's in the requirement for the deputy chief, being a paramedic, firefighter 1, 2, and whatever else is involved, but that's the little things.
So why hire a chief if you're going to tell him how to do his job?
That's not how you do your job.
You
If
know?
you're hiring a paramedic, spending that money,
No, I'm just saying, well, anyway, I forgot what my question was when I got up here. Thanks, Steve. If you're going to pose a question like that to the townspeople, I wouldn't throw it out there for March, and probably not June. I would do a salary survey of the whole state of Maine, find out what chiefs are getting paid based on the size of our fire department, the size of our town. You just can't throw them, because as Vinnie said, it's going to cost you over $100,000, because now you're going to get into insurances. We all know that's about, what, $12,000, $15,000 now? Then you have your 401K or whatever the benefit is. Vacation, you're not going to give that, someone in that position, you're not just going to give them 1 week's vacation. You're going to negotiate with them maybe 4 weeks vacation. And as Vinnie said, he's one of those people that may be there physically 16, 24 hours, whatever it is. Know darn well that he's probably 24/7. I just retired from my job. I was the vice president, and I would get calls when I was at home at night. So you're on call all the time, regardless if you're only physically there. And you do need to have somebody who understands medical and fire. And to handle the administration, you have to have somebody who can run the office, say. And he has assistant deputies, fire chief, rescue chief, deputies, and down the line, captains, lieutenants. So I don't see an issue.
Is there any other discussion?
As far as the contract's concerned, I don't know if it was Cheryl or Steve that brought it up, but I've read that a couple of times this afternoon, and there was nothing that says that either the chief or the deputy chief has to take a shift.
These are I mean, this contract is the same contract that's been in place for, is this the same one, 4 years? I mean, I know this last 2 that I've been on the board.
If the person is a chief, he's a responsible person. And if someone calls out, who do they call? Do they call the chief to see what they're going to do? Does the chief show up to take that call? I've been up to that fire station, and I've seen the chief and the assistants leave the building when I was going over budget with them. So
I mean, a quick example is Jared was in shift. I was working a shift. Jared was in there in the morning, and he was home for the afternoon, and we had a call, and we called him, and I picked him up at the roundabout in Lyman because we needed a paramedic. It's not like he was, I'm home, I'm done, don't call me. I mean, he was at home and met me in Lyman. We picked him up. He was standing on the side of the roundabout waiting for me. I'm red lights and sirens, just parked, picked up Jared. So, I mean, I was voted in to do what's best for the town. I believe that the way it's been going is the best for the town. So is there any further discussion on this matter? I'm seeing none. All those in favor?
Wait a minute, you can't vote.
Yes, he can.
Yes, I can.
I disagree.
Well, I guess you disagree with our town attorney then.
You've always abstained when you say.
Yeah, that was just kind of, yep.
You were a good boy, you abstained every time.
Yeah, so, all those opposed? All right, we're moving on. Review of legal accounts. There's a $967.50 bill for items relating to the code enforcement officer. There just a couple different cases that are going on. It looked to be majority correspondence via email with the code enforcement officer. Is there anything new on the parking lot paving update?
No, matter of fact, I've got to go back to them and see how we can possibly get the cost down. When we started this whole project, both Bernie and I told them that it'll probably end up being a two-phase project, meaning the front of the building on down would be one phase, the back would be another. And I need to have, or we need to have figures from them to separate it out. Right now, it's not.
It's a hefty figure, too.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and it's gonna have to be done in phases. There is no way we can ask the people to fund this in one shot. And I wanna go back and see what that cost is to do the back, because that is the priority right now.
Yep.
The front is, that can be done 15 years down the road and call it quits, but the main thing is we got drainage problems. We can't pave out there, because if we do, the water's gonna be running right in the basement. So I'll make a point. I've got to be in Portland both tomorrow and Wednesday. So I'll make a point to stop in and talk to the engineer and see what we can do. And just have to wait for them.
All right. Gail, is there anything new on Deep Vale? I don't know if Gail, is Gail back? Yeah.
We're just working on getting the accounting correct. I'm still working on waiting for the final entries for 2024, so we'll know what's in the accounts in Deepvale, that it's proper and correct. And I'm not sure, maybe you can help me get that done.
I can try.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I've only been back to the meetings a couple of weeks, but I do listen to them at home. And it's getting a little bit monotonous about they can't find this, they can't find that, the treasurer's done this, or they can't find this amount of money or where it is. To my understanding, the treasurer isn't the only one that had access to that account. At one time, when she had gotten an accident, there were at least 2, if not 3 more people, I can name if you wish, that had access to her password to her account on there. When she found out, she had given it under the circumstances and had changed the password. So who's to say, allegedly, that someone else hasn't been in there moving figures around or doing this or doing that? I'm just getting tired. We're not supposed to be talking about bad-mouthing other people, other officers, select people, whoever's appointed or whatever. But it's getting a little old to put the blame on one person where there was money missing and it never left the building. But there are other people that had the password that could have done some moving things around. I'm just making a point.
Thank you. All right, we will go over some budgets. We have to go over unemployment, public areas, recreation, and then deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector. So the first one that we have is unemployment and unemployment insurance and workman's comp. 2025 budget request for unemployment insurance was $12,000. 2026 we're requesting $8,000. Workman's comp insurance in 2025 was $75,000. In 2026 we're requesting $67,000. 2025's total was $87,000, and 2026's total is $75,000. This is because the premiums went down.
Yeah, well, so we got the unemployment insurance amount from the insurance from MMA, so they said we could be comfortable with that. Do not have
I got the health insurance,
packet.
but I don't have anything else.
We can share if need. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, I think it's, yeah. Yeah, so, they're all paper clipped together, so I think,
Bear with me for a minute.
yep, no worries.
Okay. Unemployment, right there.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
So those were comfortable numbers, that MMA gave us the 8,000, so, and, last year's workman's comp totals was, 64,546, so we upped that to 67, so we felt like that was a comfortable number.
All right, another budget that is down 12,000, which is good. Is there a recommendation, or is there a motion to approve the budget as written and recommend a yes vote?
So moved, and I recommend a yes vote.
All right, I will second it. Is there any discussion?
Just on this, right?
Just on this one, yep. So for unemployment insurance and workman's comp, any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Next one I have is the public areas.
So
Let's see.
your tree money is included into this budget. Tree money, it can't be a capital project, trees do not depreciate. So the question that you wanted to propose.
They do, I mean.
So I put it into this one, which would then cover you for all public areas for trees.
Okay.
So you will see that this budget went up, but it would basically be the same as
Went up a little,
what we
I
would be
think
doing.
a couple $100
And
less than.
Our mowing contract is also now in this budget.
So the 2025 budget total for public areas and cemeteries was 44,969. 2026 requested is 64,857. The biggest ones that jump out to me, I think, is the buildings and grounds went from 10 to 20. That's for that tree money.
That's the tree money.
And then the plowing contract went from 15,200 to 35,405.
It's a difference of 19,888.
Now, question, that
Yep.
20,000 for the building and grounds for the trees, that'll take care of doing in the cemeteries, or we have to put that in that other category?
No, this is public
'Cause I
areas
thought-
and
I
Public
thought we
areas
were
and-
grouping them.
Yeah,
Which
public
we were-
areas
okay.
and
It is
cemeteries.
As long as
the
it-
same template.
Even at 20,000, I don't think it's gonna be enough, but we'll have to deal with it.
We can add more if,
You can add more. This is how much you were going to put into a capital project question, 20,000.
would we feel, I don't know, I mean, I was shocked to hear what the trees cost. I should have gotten into the tree business. Do we want to put 30?
I mean, you had 10 last year. You can put the 10 and assume for another 20, so you have 30.
Well, I saw a price just on taking down 2 trees, the gutter prices,
Yeah.
and we were talking $12,000.
That's expensive.
Well, with one,
No, I'm just saying,
The
I'm
one-
shocked.
but I'll tell you this much, I think I told you this before. The ones up in the cemetery next to my
Yep.
house, they want $12,000 to take down 2 trees, but they have to go across my property to get to them. So I told them, I told the 3 companies to bid on that. I said, look,
Leave the wood.
you leave the wood, they'll chip up the tops and take them out and leave the wood. And I'll take that for firewood and grade whatever gets messed up, just so that's open. So I'm not stealing firewood, but that's.
Their prices,
But
I would
that's my
assume-
situation. Now, if you go someplace else, you know, you're talking $12,000.
I was going to say, it would go up if they had to remove the wood, too.
So you're looking at maybe 4 trees depending on where they are, and if you've got to have a crane or not. And some of these trees, I'm seeing driving around these roads, it's gonna be crane work.
Oh, absolutely.
So do we want to,
I would feel more comfortable seeing at least go up to 30.
okay. So we'll bump that up to 30.
Can you approve it and do your recommendation, at least just let me do the
Yep.
changes on it? So it'll be 74,857.
So is there a motion to, is there anything else we wanted to change in that budget? Is there a motion to up buildings and grounds to 30,000 and recommend a yes vote?
So moved. And a yes vote.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right. So that total budget is 74,857.
You've got, in your budget, do you remember how much for the roads?
We're gonna meet, we're gonna review that. I think I put in 20.
Okay.
The big problem is the ash trees. And it's a big problem.
I think, I want to say
There's money in the municipal building.
the municipal building has its own,
There's no money left over from tree money. That, yeah, we transferred.
I have not seen that.
I haven't seen that. Rick has 20.
Okay. So 50,000 in trees, that's a lot of money. Okay.
Not like it used to be.
Yeah. I'll go with the chainsaw. The next budget is the recreation budget. We talked about this briefly, and then kind of held it off. The 2020. Was that supposed to say 25? Okay. 2025 budget, what total was 44,405. And the 2026 requested budget is 36,705. It went down. I did have a conversation with the current rec director, and him and I talked kind of at length, and it may be good to keep it where it is that we have it now, the 2026, like what it's requested. We do have a new director coming in, and the 2025 request was for two, like a director and an assistant director at 5,000, and it looks like the second director went away, and so one director at 8,000. And I know when a couple people have reached out about that budget or about that position, and when they found out that it was like that it wasn't like a full-time 40-hour-a-week position, they weren't interested, and so we're having a hard time finding interested candidates. And I believe if we have it for, I could be wrong, but if we have it for like a lesser stipend, we're gonna have even more difficulty finding interested candidates.
My opinion is $8,000 stipend is ridiculous. I don't know how it got to this point, but I think it ought to go back down to, I would say $1,500 for one person. That's enough.
So less than what we have currently? Right now, they get 3.
You know, there's one, the part that really bothers me.
Yep.
Is this rec director did not come in and speak to the budget committee, or else we've asked numerous times for him to come in, and he's never done it. And so why should we bend over backwards at this point and throw $8,000? So somebody's gonna jump on this just to get that $8,000, and nobody's gonna convince me of anything different.
They're not jumping on it, though.
No, I know, but,
I'm just saying, nobody's jumping on it at 8,000, so.
but
for
how
over
many
2
people,
months.
how many people know about it?
Well, we've We have it out there. So
Where?
it's been on our website.
The newspaper, did we put it in the
We have it
newspaper?
on, yeah, I'm like, so we have it out there for 2 months. We can't get anybody for 8,000, so I'm not
Where's-
sure.
Years ago, there again, I'm sounding like a broken record here. But years ago, we had the parents of these kids that are using that field got together and did a lot of the work. And they had one
I
person that was
agree. I
kind
just-
of leading the pack, so to speak.
Those days are over.
Well, I think the way we're spending money here, we better get back to that, or else we're gonna put ourselves on a poorhouse.
I think he was trying to entice somebody to take the position, and being the budget being $8,000
This is
lower
no
than it
more, in my
was.
opinion, of throwing money at a problem. And that has got to stop.
Okay.
Just need to vote yes or no on it tonight. You're just doing a recommendation at this point, so, or changing it,
Yeah,
whatever.
so
you
is
want.
there a motion to change that number?
I make a motion, we change it to $1,500.
Is there a second? I'll second it for the purpose of discussion. I know you said that we're throwing money at a problem. I'm afraid that if we can't get anybody at 8,000 that's interested, that we're not gonna get anybody at 1,500. They do a lot of planning, in summer. Greg's done a great job in the last couple of years, but
I don't know what he's done. He won't come in to talk. You know, if we had someone come in and say,
yeah.
this is what we're doing, and they can justify $8,000, fine. But just to sit back, we don't get any comments whatsoever, I'm not for it. I'm not denying the fact that we need stuff for the kids. We do. But I think that's a little bit on the rich side, $8,000 for one person.
You guys don't get that.
What?
You guys don't get that.
No.
So last year it was 3,000 for one, 2,000 for the other.
correct.
And there's no option to have a second one this year?
This is the time to change. We could, but once again, we haven't had a person interested for one at 8,000. I don't know if we'll,
I know that you're not gonna find anybody that's gonna do that for 1,500, but if you could split that up, maybe less, and then had another one, and if someone doesn't step forward, but it would have been nice if they came in and said what they did over the course of the year.
I agree. So we have a motion and a second to change that stipend to 1,500.
And eliminate the second one. Just have one director.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just concerned of come January 1st if we don't have anybody. Because like I said, the people who I've reached out to who are interested, a couple of them reached back out and said they thought it was a full-time. I think Leamington has a full-time. I don't think we need a full-time.
No, I don't either, but most of it, like Standish does, like there are certain
Yeah.
towns that-
So I thought they thought that it was a full-time position, and then they were no longer interested when they found out it was part-time. And I didn't even say money. So, we certainly can change it and hope that we find someone. So yeah. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, so do we recommend a no vote on the budget? Is there a motion for that? That motion didn't go through to change that, so is there a motion to recommend a no vote?
I don't want to do a no vote, but we should be able to come to some agreement on
We've got to do something.
stipend.
Yeah. I am right in the middle. I think 1,500's too low. I think 8,000's a little too high. Would, I mean, is a compromise, I think 6,000 is too high. Would a compromise be 4,000 for one person instead of, right now it's 5,000 for two.
Can you put an hourly or an amount of hours to that amount?
I'd
I
rather,
mean, if somebody's looking at it going, oh, if I'm gonna work, 200 hours throughout the year, no.
That can depend on, I mean, he runs the swim, he does all the line basketball schedules.
see, this is the thing right there. You're saying he
Well,
does,
on
so
the
we
back,
don't
if
know
you-
what he's doing.
On the back, it says Christmas in Limerick, Halloween, movie night, summer band, kids craft, laser tag, sports like he does all the equipment, like, there's a lot. I mean, you're talking $8,000 and $153 a week. That's where you're at, divided by 52. So, does the swim, the sports, the Christmas pageant, the Halloween in Main Street, so. Can I say something?
Yeah.
So do you have, don't we charge for these programs, a lot of them? Like a $25 fee or?
I'm not aware of it.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think
I think
so.
some of them are free.
Most of those are,
Because
most
I
of
know
those
at one
things that he
time
puts
there's
on the
funds
are free.
collected for, and it helped offset
The budget.
the stipend for that person.
Do we get anything from the Little League, the baseball? Do you know?
No? No? Okay.
So I thought there was some rec revenue on the general ledger. For certain sports like that. For certain sports.
And like the sale of the snack
that's
shack concessions, I would, yeah, go back into the budget.
That's one way to tell
Yeah, there could be. a-
what's being done.
They used to charge, do they charge for the swim lessons now? They used to, I believe.
I'm not gonna sit here, I didn't know they did swim lessons. No, I know they do a lot. I think 8,000 may be too much. I know that Greg and his assistant do 100% do a lot. Do I think they do more than the selectmen weekly? Probably not.
No.
And I've said this before, it's not about, I don't do this for the money, but we get a stipend of 6,000 a year. So I would be okay with possibly eliminating the second director position and having one director at 4,500. So I'll make that motion to change the director line, the director stipend from 8,000 to 4,500, and have, there's already no deputy director. Yeah,
How about 3,000?
keep it the same, yeah.
You would list in the things that the kids did, that the directors did and everything. And it was just brought to my attention that we don't have basketball and soccer in the town around here. There's the sports for the kids, it's only just free events that were put on, like the movies and stuff like that. But there was never, the sports themselves, the basketball no longer is.
At
I don't-
Line School, the Line School,
Yeah.
they don't do it at the Line School
No,
anymore?
no, I think you do it like with water. I don't know, this is just what it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a combination.
But it's Waterboro or middle school or something like that. I don't know. But donations, you can, there's no basketball and no soccer is all that I've been informed. I have no idea. But donations are welcome if people want to. What they put it towards, I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think,
I can go $3,000, and I'm not gonna go any more than that.
okay.
And one director.
Yeah, I believe I think one director, I believe if we're doing one director, right now, we have two directors for 5,000. I believe if we go to one director, I think 4,500 would still be, I'm gonna keep my motion at 4,500. So I made a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Like I said, I just think,
I think it's too high for a stipend, Brandon.
okay. I'm just worried about not, I mean, like I said, we're not finding anybody at an $8,000 stipend. I'm just worried January 1st, we're not going to have anyone.
When we're looking about this, that director usually has been a parent.
Yep.
Some
And he
kid.
is a
Now, if
parent.
they- Now,
Yep.
if they're in it for the kids, you tell me that money's gonna make any difference? They're getting, it's a
Yep,
stipend,
yep.
it's not an hourly rate, they're not an employee.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a, thank you for doing this type thing. But when we start getting into $8,000 for something, now we're getting into what they call serious money. And for the rec,
Limerick kids do have to go to Waterboro. There is nothing up here.
Yeah,
It used to be Newfield.
Greg did say that this year, he told the parents, without the volunteers, we couldn't have basketball, and he couldn't get any parents to volunteer to coach any basketball.
now is he texting you?
Yep.
Why can't he be in here?
So, well, I didn't ask him to come. This has been a budget,
How many times have we asked him to come? I know the budget committee has, and we have.
I mean, you're in complete control of the budget, so lower it. You're not gonna have any, we don't have anybody at 8,000. So in January 8th, when we meet, you can either take the position or somebody else can handle it. That's where you're gonna be. So just vote a no on it or lower it, and there's plenty other templates to go through tonight. This has been one that it's been the same since October.
Yeah.
So this one is not new.
All right, so there is a motion and a second to change the director stipend from $8,000 to $4,500. Is there any further discussion? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? And opposed? All right, so that does pass to change that to $4,500. The next two budgets kind of go side by side.
Did
So
you
we're gonna
vote on the new total and?
Right, we still gotta
Oh,
finish the rest
Sorry,
of it.
sorry. Okay.
So the new total's 33,205.
33,205. Okay. Go ahead.
What's the supplies and equipment? I don't know what they're talking about. You know, we spent a lot of money down there in the past few years.
Last year it was sports equipment, playground, picnic, gazebo enhancements is what was listed on there. And then for their supplies line, it was items for the Christmas in Limerick, Halloween movie series, summer band, kids craft series, laser tag, and new picnic tables. And it looks like the equipment line is the same. And if I'm reading this correctly, the supplies dropped from 12,000 to 4,000. So the new, do we need to calculate, did you calculate the FICA Medicare change? Oh, don't be sorry, I just wanted to.
So we don't know what they're talking about. Is that just a figure in there for, they're just picking a figure out of the air for these things, or what? There's nothing that, what really bothers me is that we don't have a list of what is planned in that budget.
Well, I think, this is a hard one to plan for, where he's not going to be in the position next year. A new person's going to come in, and a new person, if Greg, I'll use basketballs because we're talking about basketball. If Greg thinks the current basketballs are fine, but a new director doesn't think they're fine, the new director could use the supply budget to buy new basketballs. Steve?
Is there any money in there for girls softball fields, or would that be a cap? Could we put something in the capital?
Nothing there.
You'll have to ask the new rec director, Gina.
No, I don't have to ask the rec director. I'm asking
That's
the
who would
select
do
board
a capital
because-
project for it.
No, because the select board, we were told the girls don't have a softball field in the town of Limerick. So, I'm just saying.
It's the first time I'm hearing of it.
No, you're not, because I was up here 3 months ago saying the girls had no place to play. It was Wade shaking his head. He
Okay,
knows. Maybe you weren't here, maybe you were.
Yep, so I'm saying this is
Yeah.
the first time that I remember hearing it, so don't say
Saying
no.
Well, I'm telling you, talked
Okay,
about it.
yeah,
So if you read the minutes to the meeting, if you weren't here, you would have known, I talked about it. But anyway, I'm just saying, would that be a capital project, or?
It's not in this budget right now, Steve.
Okay, well, it should be, so the girls next year have a place to play.
Where do they play now? Do they play on the field, the second field?
No, they can't use it. They couldn't use it this year. So they were in Waterboro, Alfred, so 6, 8, and 10-year-old girls
It's
have to get tried.
my understanding that 99% of them have to go to Alfred and Waterboro for their games anyways.
Yeah, because we don't have a field.
Okay, do you know how much a field would...
You're 100% right.
Steve,
no,
do you know
I'm
how much a
talking-
field would cost?
Well, there was talk, Bernie had made a motion, talked about revamping the second field, because the first field is used by the Waterboro. The Little League is run out of Waterboro, so so you can't touch that field.
Okay, so if I were to add a capital project, how much should I put into the capital project for a girls' softball field?
I have no idea, I'm saying we ought to be, well, we were gonna look into it 2 months ago, but that got dropped.
It's more than 5,000, you get bids.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, there's the whole thing, it'd just it'd be revamping it, or a bunch of volunteers going down and revamping that second field, so it's just something.
At this point in time, it's something that probably we ought to put on the list to get done,
Yeah.
get estimates and stuff for next year and have it next year's budget.
I mean, if you're gonna revamp the fields, because I've done it for a long, long time, coached for 15 years, if you're gonna revamp the fields, you have to there has to be somebody full-time that's gonna maintain them, or in 2 or 3 years, you're right back to where you started. So, I mean, it's not just revamp the fields, it's you have to hire someone that's gonna take care of the fields
But the
year-round.
girls in the town of Limerick ought to have a place they can play,
Yeah.
even to practice.
They don't play now? I mean, even when they had, the only thing that played down there was Little League, so.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Little League, the boys and the girls played together.
Yes, but now you got girls softball, which is a big thing, and it's just something to think about.
So what happened with the pickleball thing? Did that get, someone said about transferring X amount of dollars out of the rec account to do a pickleball field?
The fence for the pickleball, yeah, the fence for the pickleball court went up, correct.
Is that
And-
still in play, or is it done?
No, it's done.
The fence
Yeah.
is up.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of painting.
The nets and stuff are here.
What my question is, why, if we don't have a rec director and we can't figure out what we're gonna do with our money, why are we putting a lot of money into a pickleball court?
Bingo.
Why are we doing that? The money wasn't assigned the year before for that, and it can be to the discretion of the select board, but in my opinion is that if you're gonna spend that much money, you should put it to the voters of the town to ask them if they do want one of these, and if they wanna do continued maintenance, because it's something that has continued maintenance to it. Anytime you do anything like that, you should ask the townspeople. And then, I'm looking at the audit draft, and it shows recreation donations of $4,448. What's that, what are we using that money for now, if that doesn't help offset something?
We have the nets here, Alicia, you
Yeah,
said? Okay.
that stuff's all here.
Okay, so we have all the equipment for it. It just needs to be painted and the stuff needs to be put up.
I know it's a
no,
popular
yep, yep.
sport, but it's just the way that it happens.
Correct. Yep. Okay.
It was fairly, inexpensive. I don't remember how much the whole project was.
I don't think we ever got one.
No, we have the nets, the
No, but I mean-
fencing's up. Like Rick said, it just needs to be pressure washed and painted, and we have the nets. It's
So the
done.
majority of the
It's
stuff's
not
already
like-
purchased.
It's not putting in a pad or anything. I think the whole project is less than $2,500.
I think we have the pickle and the balls.
We have all of the stuff that's here in the basement.
Let's hope we don't stay there.
Oh,
Um,
32,750.
well, 32,750.
Yeah.
Okay.
For what?
Is the total for the budget, with the FICA and Medicare updated and the director stipend moved to 4,500. So I make a motion to, go ahead.
So we're gonna keep the 4,000, the 5,000 in there for the supplies and equipment? We don't know what we're buying?
I mean, I am fine with keeping that there because, like I said, the next director might have something different that he wants to do, he, she, they want to do. I don't want to start the budget with nothing in it, and
And not be able to have any projects.
correct. And I also don't want to give them a $12,000 supply budget for them to start their first year and buy gold-plated basketballs.
Exactly.
So I think 4,000 is fine with that, and then equipment, I would, as a department head, I would assume equipment could be for, really anything, painting the equipment to paint. I say we build a new municipal building, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Hang on your wallet on that one.
So is there a motion to change any other numbers on this budget?
I think we ought to lower both those supply and equipment budgets a little bit. Since we don't know what we're doing here.
Vote on the last.
I thought we just voted on it.
Yeah, like I thought.
I thought it was
we already
finalized.
passed. Like it was 2 in favor, 1 opposed to
I thought that was to change the stipend.
Yeah,
just the stipend.
yes.
I may have called that vote wrong.
The maintenance, I have no problems with, because
Okay. So is there a motion to accept it as written? Is there a motion to change it? Is there a motion,
So since we don't have any information on this, I would like to see the supplies 2 and the equipment 2,500. So we're putting something in, but we don't know what we're gonna be buying, but there's something there.
Supplies is already down $7,000, just so you know. And
equipment stayed the same?
is down, no, equipment actually stayed the same.
You know, you're not gonna have anybody, say you don't get anybody in January, but say you get somebody in the spring, you have time to add it to the vote in June, if you needed a little bit more money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you have donations that you can use,
Well,
move it from unassigned.
the big problem I have is allocating money that we don't know
Right.
what's
Right.
earmarked for,
I get it, yeah.
and this is gonna be going into, we're gonna have to raise taxes for it. So
Right.
we're raising taxes for someone, we don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
So you don't have a rec director now, you don't know if you're gonna have a rec director. I agree, I would go with your thought on that. And then if you do get someone, say, late in March.
And
some-
they come in with a proposal,
Yep.
then we can deal with it.
Yep, you can put it on the June ballot.
I am being asked to direct you to the podium.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done anyway.
Okay.
I like her idea,
Yep, do you want to make that new a motion?
that we reduce the supplies to 2,000 and equipment to 2,500 with the understanding when we know what's gonna happen down there, we can increase it at the next,
Meeting, or
well,
election?
next election, or the school vote.
Okay, and you want to make that, make those changes and recommend a yes vote?
Yes,
Okay, I will second that.
so 2,000 on supplies, 2,500,
System down there that has an annual,
that's contracted, I believe.
We
is
do.
that in that budget?
Yes.
It's in the budget for 700. But who controls that, I am not sure. I don't know if it's a system that, I think it would be a system that we
I think
own.
it's the same company we contract with, from what I
Okay,
understand.
okay. Okay, so,
But you also have to cover some costs when they mow the fixtures over We have to replace them.
Doesn't the
That could be
road
equipment.
go that whole field?
Yep,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yep. Sprinkler equipment. There's what that budget's for. Okay, so now we are on to the deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector.
Can I take a vote on this first?
We did. Did we?
No,
Oh, I am awful. I just guess I want to get this budget done.
it's 8:45, you're getting tired.
All those in favor? All right. I already wrote a yes, so I'll circle the yes. Okay, for the third time, deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector. This was talked about at the budget committee meeting last week. The positions are going to be, the town clerk and tax collector will be appointed / hired positions once the current town clerk and tax collector either are done or at the expiration of their current terms. So therefore, they are looking for a budget for a deputy town clerk and a deputy tax collector, so 2 people, each of them at $22 per hour at 37 hours a week for 52 weeks. Total budget would be $48,003 per position, so a total of a little less than $100,000. We had a deputy town clerk / tax collector for that same, right around that same amount. One person being both of them. I don't know what it would look like. I know we have both positions now, but like other towns, the town clerk and tax collector are the same person. So I don't know the deputy town clerk.
Used to be that way years
Yeah.
ago?
I don't know if, I mean, I guess I don't know what we want to do. Do we want to have 4 people in that office? The idea of separating them is one would be in training for town clerk, one would be in training for tax collector. And then at the expiration of the terms, they would take over the positions or be appointed to the positions.
I wonder if some of that training is the same, as far as,
Yeah,
I don't know.
no?
No, they're different positions.
Well, I know the positions, but as far as some of the training, if the classes they might have to take are the same.
And they
don't
gave a
know.
good
I don't know.
explanation at the budget committee meeting. They gave a good explanation of like timeline and how long it takes to get certified in these positions. It is a while. So they'd be looking to have somebody possibly start beginning of 2026.
Dee Dee did say she was comfortable with this going to vote first and having them start after March.
Okay.
Like, we could have the process started, you could put it out for applications, and so if the vote passed, then call them from that point. Like, we could put the job descriptions out in February or January, and then, but she said she would feel comfortable with knowing that the budget passed
Okay.
before having anybody come in.
Yep. So I guess the question is,
So in all honesty, this actually is not 52 weeks.
yep,
You're gonna take, would probably need to adjust this. It would be, I mean, at least March before. The goal would be like you could advertise in January, put it out, you could interview in February, I mean, and tell people,
Yep.
right? Like, so hopefully they could start right after the budget passes.
so would
So you
we,
could take 8 weeks off of this, right?
Drop it about 10,000.
So that is,
so 44 weeks would be safe to budget for. So 22 an hour, 37 hours, times 44 weeks. The salary line, or the wage line would be 30.
Wait a minute. I was just looking at this afternoon. Are they in here 37 hours a week?
Right now, I don't think so. Do you mean the town clerk and tax collector?
Yeah.
I am not sure.
I mean, we can't, no sense in having that person in there any longer than what they're in there.
Didn't Judy and Dee Dee say, though, that the 22, wasn't start pay $22 an hour, was it?
They,
These
Dee Dee
switches
looked and
might be
found-
made up by Dee Dee.
Dee Dee found the average, and the average
Oh,
going rate
yeah.
is 22. Anastasia, I think, was making 23 something. So the, yeah. Well, I mean, we see, and another question I have is I don't know how this would work because the town clerk and tax collector are not appointed yet. Do we have the authority to appoint the deputy town clerk and tax collector?
Passed, your vote passed.
No, I know, but,
Oh,
or would they have to appoint their deputies? Because I don't think we have the power to appoint a deputy for an elected position.
How was the voting question worded?
I know, that's,
To have the position of tax collector and town clerk to be,
What we voted on?
but did you say till the end of the term?
we modified it from the end of the term to, from the expiration of the term or per resignation or absence of office. So I guess it would be, I mean, the question is, do we have the authority to appoint deputy town clerks and deputy tax collectors if they are still an elected position? Or is that something that Dee Dee and Judy would have to appoint their own deputies, and then come the end of their term, we would appoint them as the town clerk or tax collector? That was a question I had after the budget committee meeting, but kind of slipped my mind until now. So I guess if we change to 22 per hour for 37 hours a week at 44 weeks, the wage line would be $35,816. For each, FICA would change a little bit.
Did Judy say she was more concerned about town clerk than the tax collector rather than the town clerk?
She gave an extensive, timeline.
Anastasia did both, didn't she?
Yep, she was a deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector for right around the same
I think
amount.
the problem is in March, when they both leave, you can't just have one person, deputy town clerk, tax collector. That's okay. But you would have.
Well, I mean, my question is could we have one town clerk / tax collector position?
Oh, that's completely changed.
No, I know,
Sorry,
I would have to, there's a lot of questions that I still have about this, but I know in the time of budget, we have to get these submitted. I just don't know if,
Why can't we go back to the model that we had when Anastasia was here?
I agree.
Things were going, I thought, pretty good. She had some issues with certain people, but
This day and age is a little different, though, and there's a lot of laws and regulations for them to keep up on. And it's great when you can do both jobs, but the times have changed.
Yep.
And I think if you're going to train one for one, you probably should train for the other. And then those two people, if they decide to stay or the town keeps them, they can cross-train each other. That way
Yep.
you're not, now you're not groveling to find somebody to do one or the other job. I know that Judy or Dee would probably help at some point if necessary,
Yeah,
but.
yeah.
But do they need to come in the full 37 hours a week?
Do you want, Dee Dee had offered to be here. I can text her. She said she'll come up if you want her to come. If you have questions tonight. I don't think she chose not to be here. She asked, and I said I would let her know. So,
I mean, I think, I personally have a couple, it would be helpful for me to have her up here.
We have other budgets.
Yeah, we can-
move on to.
So,
Yeah, let's do that.
okay, so she'll come up if she's available, and we'll move on to requests. Okay. Budget season comes so quick each year. So for 2025, the request on the ballot that we did was American Red Cross for 500, St. Matthew's Food Pantry for 1,200, and then Secocas Lake Arrowhead, and Pickerel Pond each got 2,500, and Life Flight got 797. Those are the ones that we put on the ballot in 2025. And the request that we have received for this year is Saco River Corridor for $750, Maine Public TV for $100, American Red Cross for the same amount we did last year of $500, St. Matthew's Food Bank requested $1,500, which is up $300. Secocas Lake Association requested $3,500. Day One requested $500. Lake Arrowhead requested $4,000. Pickerel Pond requested $3,000. Life Flight kept their same request at $797. The Revitalization Committee.
I think this would, did we determine
Yeah.
this would be, sorry, capital?
No, it's okay. And then Caring Unlimited.
That was new today, so I didn't put that one online yet. I think they missed the deadline last year with them. But they support York County for domestic violence and abuse.
Okay.
For-
And they requested $1052. Last year, from my recollection, is the lakes each asked for different amounts, and we gave the same amount to each lake. I think it was right around this. They may have upped their request this year, but we gave them fair across the board, 2,500 last year.
I don't see any problem doing that again. Just for the sake
Yep.
of holding the taxes down.
Keeping them the same as last year, you think? 2,500? Okay. So the lakes, 2,500. Life Flight kept their request the same. Who else? American Red Cross kept their request the same. Do we want to do those again?
I don't see anything wrong with that, with the Red Cross.
Okay. But not Life Flight?
And Lifeline.
Life Flight, sure.
Okay. All right, so 500 American Red Cross, 797 Life Flight. And these were all separate articles last year, right?
Initially, the townspeople are gonna vote yes or no on doing the donations. You're just voting to put them on the ballot.
Yep. Yeah,
But yes.
they're just
all-
spread
They're
out.
all separate questions.
Okay. And so the new ones, or St. Matthew's Food Pantry, last year the request was for 1,200. This year it was 1,500. Do we want to put that one on the ballot at 1,500 or keep it at 1,200?
No, 1,500.
I would say 1,500.
Okay. So food pantry, 1,500.
I know Saco River corridors came in late last year too. It was after the deadline.
Do we want to put Saco River Corridor?
I don't know.
I would vote
What have we
no.
done in the past?
I know we didn't put it on last year.
Yeah, I know
Did we?
she missed it
years ago,
last
Didn't we?
year.
Give them $50.
That was when
Jane was on there.
So they requested 750. Do we want to do 750? Do we want to do a different amount? Do we want to do nothing at all?
I like what she just said,
300?
300.
I am okay with that. They are fun to deal with. They've actually been great to me. I've just heard stories. Maine Public TV has requested 100. Is that the PBS channel?
Maine Public TV, yeah, PBS.
I would do
Okay.
it.
Yeah, anybody want to put that on? Going once, going twice? Nope, okay. And then Caring Unlimited. It's a new request this year.
They missed it last year too.
Okay,
So these people, I gave them dates this year. This one's still a little, but
Okay.
it came today.
yeah.
I know I've heard of them, but what do they do?
They help domestic violence situations.
Domestic violence.
They do a lot of work. I used to work with them a lot at my previous job when I worked in low-income housing. So they
It's like financial, emergency financial.
pay security deposits to get people into secure housing.
They do a lot.
They do a lot of work.
So put it on. I would say yes.
Yes, okay. So Caring Unlimited for 1052.
And day one.
And then Day One, what does Day One do?
Day one is, I think,
Recovery?
teens. No, I think it's
Recovery.
teens, hold on. Providing substance use, mental health, wellness services to youth and their families. So mental health services, yeah, for adolescents,
Okay.
programs.
I don't have a clue if they've ever taken care of anybody up here.
They're in Wyndham, they serve,
Wyndham,
um,
they used to be in Buxton.
treatment centers, because our youth residential treatment centers are only one of a kind in Maine. So,
I'm fine with putting that on.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. All right, so Day One for 500. Okay, so I'll just read through them. So I'd look for,
One more.
is there one, did I miss one?
Sure.
The Revitalization Committee. So we decided that would be, at the Budget Committee meeting, we talked, and last year, the Historical Society had requested a certain amount of funds for repairs at the Congregational Church that they got. And this was brought up at a couple meetings, and then somebody from the Historical Society had let me know that they covered the costs themselves to get it fixed. So we don't have to put that on there. I'm sure they would take the money, but it's,
So that's
that
off.
we don't, yeah, I wouldn't put that on there. That's not a town
No.
thing or a town building. So, I mean, we can put it on there to fix my roof if we want. And then the Revitalization Committee, damn it. The Revitalization Committee, for a new ceiling, we decided that would be probably better as a capital project for the new ceiling at the Grange Hall.
Do we actually need it?
Yeah, it's in pretty bad shape up
I
there.
haven't seen it, so.
Yeah, no, it's,
$7,000? That's all.
yeah, it's a drop ceiling. I would look for a motion and a yes vote for donations for the three lake associations so Secocas Lake, Lake Arrowhead, and Pickerel Pond for $2,500 each.
Yep.
American Red Cross at $500, Life Flight at $797, the Food Pantry at $1,500, Saco River Corridor at $300, Caring Unlimited $1052, and Day One at $500. I don't think I missed any of them. So I'd look for a motion on those.
So you said revitalization is gonna stay?
That's probably going to be a capital
you
project.
can make it a capital, you can put it into the Grange Hall budget. if you
Yeah.
want, Either or.
Yeah,
Okay, so there is a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Hi. How's it going? We have some questions for you on these budgets. One of the questions that I know I had was, would we be the ones to appoint your deputies while you're still elected? or would you appoint your own deputies, just with it still being an elected position? Or do we have the power to?
Everybody is, of course, gonna sit all in with interviews. I mean.
Yep.
Because initially, you guys have to appoint these people when we're done.
Okay, yep.
As long as we're still elected, we have to appoint them as our deputies.
Okay.
So, but after we're done in March 27, then you guys have to appoint them
Yep.
for their positions. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yep, yep,
Okay.
that does make sense. And then,
We lowered the weeks.
the weeks,
just
so
because
after
if
the
we weren't
March,
gonna start until March, we took out 52 weeks and did 44.
Okay.
were you
Like,
okay
you
with?
know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
So I lowered it.
so we don't have to fire anybody.
One question I had, do they have to be there 37 hours a week?
They really should. And I only say that because they are learning to
A
be
lot.
here by themselves. Less than a year, they're gonna be here to learn all of these jobs to get certified.
I just didn't know how you're gonna train them if you say, well, we only need, we really only need you to come in 2 or 3 hours, 2 or 3 days or something.
I get it, we've been there and done that. Only problem is, not every situation happens when they're here part-time.
Okay, yeah.
That's all, that's the hiccup. Yes, we do have slow times. I mean, we're not always busy, but they really
Whenever I
need to
need
be
something,
here.
it's pretty busy. Normally a line,
Right up
unless,
until these plates are done.
Do you anticipate if you had that situation that you would just be saying, okay, well, look, we're slow as the devil today, there's really no need for you to be here because you're not gonna learn anything?
Well, you never know.
I
That's
know,
the issue.
that's-
Because somebody could come in and, oh, I wish they were here, because this would be a very good time to learn how to do this.
That person probably, if I was that person, I would want to be here
yeah, yeah.
with them. all the
I said,
time.
it's not like, you know, we have a couple years and they're gonna be here to learn
Or you're gonna be here and
everything and,
on the side
I
when
mean-
they're taking over, 'cause,
So the only thing we change is basically down to 44 weeks?
Yep. And we would have to change the FICA and Medic. How do,
Yeah.
how do we calculate FICA and Medicare?
7.65%.
Okay. Do you have what the total budget would be?
Oh, sorry, yeah, 49,993 for each one.
40 what?
40,000.
Okay, 40,000, okay.
993.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other questions for Dee Dee or Judy? Seeing none? The heater, does the heater have questions?
he's on.
So I would look for we'll do the deputy, we'll do them both. I would look for a motion to accept the articles as written and recommend a yes vote on the deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second, is there any discussion?
No?
Joanne?
Is there any chance that these people that apply for these jobs already have some knowledge?
Yeah. That would be ideal. Yeah, yeah. I think that would be,
Ideal.
that would be ideal, but we can't
bank on
promise
it.
that they're gonna do that. You know, we could have preferred qualifications. Yeah, I think it would,
But yeah, I mean,
minimum desired qualification, yeah.
preferred or, but yeah.
Yeah.
But would that put 4 people in that office all the time?
Yeah,
44 hours a week?
just 2026. And then, as it's written right now, or the plan is that these positions would take, the deputy tax collector would become the tax collector, deputy town clerk would become the town clerk, and then in 2027, we wouldn't have I understand it as we wouldn't have a deputy for those, so it'd go back to 2 people in that office.
You still want one day.
And then, okay, yeah.
If one of them's out sick or something happens, they're off for 6 weeks.
No.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We're back to 2 people.
Yep,
and
it's hard.
first we came by.
Yeah,
But that would
Okay.
be a part
We don't
of
want
the
one
our
chief there.
budget.
in 2027, yeah.
Well, the next one they can
Yep.
hire.
I don't want to think about that budget yet. Okay, so there's a recommendation on a yes vote, and there's a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right. Thank you for coming out. Sorry. Should have just called, yeah.
I know, it could have been on speaker, actually. Could have held the mic down. I could have yelled. That's true, I was gonna say, we could open the window.
All right, couple more budgets. Health insurance. Whoa.
So you are gonna see because we have to plan that these 2 people potentially could take health insurance, or if they opt out, they will have the potential of getting $6,000 a year. We don't know. So we've put it in the budget, then you'll have a chance. You just don't know. You
No,
don't know
yeah,
who
yeah,
you
yeah.
hire, but we have to plan. Each person that takes benefits here costs like $22,000.
All right.
So,
So 2025's request was 75,335, and 2026 request is $100,678, up about 25%. But like Alicia said, we don't know what they'll do when they take the position.
So they're either going to get $22,000 worth of health insurance or
$6,000 payout.
They'll qualify.
Would they get a payout? Because didn't
They
we
will get
change
a
the
payout. As of
policy?
January 1st, 2025, what we said was they had to, and maybe
They
they
had to
won't.
prove,
They had to
okay.
prove that their insurance that they were getting elsewhere cost more than the $6,000
Okay, yep.
here.
I was gonna say,
So
I know
they
we
just have to
changed
prove
it.
with the treasurer that the
Okay.
cost of what they're paying is
Yep.
more than that amount.
All right, so is there a motion to accept it and recommend a yes vote?
So moved.
I will second that for discussion. It's definitely up, but it's hard to tell what they are going to do. And with positions, it would be, would they be hired on Monday and have health insurance right away? Is that how, I guess that's for us to decide, but,
Yeah,
Depends on, sometimes it's the first of the month,
yeah.
first of the following month, so if they were hired on October 15th, it could be November 1st. Just check with.
I guess my question is, I don't want to play on a bet, or a gamble, but if they don't take it, or if they do want it, could we budget for it at another vote?
I would just leave it, I would
Okay,
do it.
yep,
I know that it adds to the budget, but the
Yep.
money is on it overall, doesn't really change your bottom number.
okay, yeah.
Just
Okay.
raise your revenues by 10,000. I'm just
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I know.
Is there any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor? All right. Is this the last budget?
Yeah.
Earned paid leave for all departments?
So this will change a little bit. So this is the account that we set up last year. I think if you look at your expense sheet, it might have more in it than it should. But Julie, there are some people getting paid out. Currently, they have until, they would have 2 more pay periods, right? The 23rd, the 30th. So next week, I told her I'm looking for a number where we're at.
Yeah.
Because that was supposed to roll over. Like, it's not supposed to go back into the unassigned.
Yeah.
Because the point was not have to raise.
Each year,
So I'm
yeah.
just giving this to you so you can see the figure.
Where we're at, but-
We did add the deputy town clerk and deputy tax collector in this too, because they would also earn paid leave time. So most of these, they're just up. If that account came back that has nothing in it, everybody used every single bit of earned paid leave, which I don't think happened. This would be where you'd be at with it. So,
Okay.
So I will bring this one back next week to try to at least.
So no motion on this yet?
No,
Okay.
but I wanted you to at least see where it was at.
Thank you.
Do you want to add the ceiling money as a capital question? Do you want to put it into the Grange Hall, Boy Scout building and repairs? Or do you want to do that?
I think it would be, since the request is for over 5,000, we'll have to go out to bid anyway. I believe that a capital project may be best for that. And yeah. So they requested 7,000. So I'd look for a motion for a capital project and recommend a yes vote for 7,000 for a new ceiling in the Grange Hall.
So moved.
And I'll second that for discussion. Okay. Is there any discussion?
We'll just be going out for bids anyway.
Yeah, it would go out for bids and it would come from the capital project account.
That sounds kind of ridiculous. The
What?
cost of that ceiling.
Okay.
The estimate did?
I was gonna say,
You
Stephanie.
can do it cheaper, believe me.
All right.
You're saying it's coming from a capital account, you're actually raising this money somehow. There's no
Yeah.
capital account.
You
Raising
sing-
and appropriating.
Okay,
Right?
yeah, I thought,
Or do you want to take it from?
yeah, okay. So,
Or if you want.
am I not crazy? Don't we?
No.
Okay.
You're fine, but it might be easier if you, so we have our public buildings template. We have Grange Hall, and repairs and maintenance, we have $3,000 now. So,
That's for this year's budget.
yep.
Yeah.
But, so if you wanted to add more money into that budget, you could potentially, and then do your quotes.
Or couldn't you, I mean, my
On that point.
idea for the capital project reserve, I mean, like, we'll go with Article 23, that was this year. Shall the town vote to establish a capital project reserve account in Fund 3, Grange Hall new ceiling, a corresponding expense account, and transfer up to 7,000 from capital project reserve account to the new reserve account. I thought we'd be taking it from the overhead, Gail.
To do that, you have to put money into the main capital project reserve account, or you just write the article and it comes from wherever, appropriation or undesignated. This town voted to spend 30, 20, 80,
Almost 200,000.
over $100,000, and you didn't fund it. It's not funded yet, okay, right now. Okay, because the articles were written incorrectly. It passed the select board, it passed the budget, and it passed the voters. Okay, we're all in the soup together, rowing upstream, okay?
But
So-
this is the first, I'm hearing a lot of stuff for the first time tonight. I don't know why
All
I'm
you got to
just.
do is read all you got to do is read the financials, okay? All you got to do is read the reports, and when you have negative balances of 110,000 in your capital reserve, okay, that means you haven't funded it yet. All right, and I've written letters. I have written letters to our treasurer, and I don't get any answers. Okay, thank you. So you get a big article to move some money into,
Raising
depending on how you write the article.
Transfer from,
You got to cover 2025 first.
You know, one thing, as far as that's concerned,
Put it on the
Why
June
do we-
ballot, whatever you want to do.
I would say, as far as that ceiling goes, nothing's gonna change up there right now. It's got a ceiling. We could put it on, get our estimates together and put it in on a June vote.
Yep. I'm okay with that, too. So there is a motion and a second to add it. Discussion has been held. All those in favor to add it? All those opposed to add it to this warrant?
Well, this warrant.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. And we can get our estimates and move
If you're
forward.
gonna do the June ballot,
Yeah.
we got time.
Discussion of a new, was that it for budgets? Anybody, any other budgets?
That's it.
Alicia, any notes? No? Okay. Discussion of a new system administrator. I emailed both the interested parties, and both of them are interested in meeting with us. I would like to possibly, no, I just want to set up a time to meet with them. I don't think it has to be an executive session. They're going to request some information from us that I can obtain numbers of computers, what software they need to have administration over, and
Okay. Have you talked to Motor Waves?
I have never talked
Okay,
to Motor Waves,
okay.
no.
It just so happened, I called him today, he picked up the phone.
Okay,
He's gonna be here Thursday.
okay,
He's gonna be hooking up Stan's computer.
okay,
And I asked him about carbonite.
okay,
And he's gonna look into it and let me know Thursday, because the contract, he's not sure just on the date of the contract he's got with carbonite.
Good.
So,
okay.
and, so are we waiting for,
I was gonna say, do we still want to meet with a possible new one, or the two possible new ones?
well, he told me the reason why he didn't return phone calls is he had a death in the family and he had to go out of state. So take it for what it's worth, you know, it's, huh?
For 2 years?
No, not 2 years.
Um,
Granted, it was quite a while.
yeah. I don't think it would hurt to meet with the possible new ones.
No?
So do we want to do that before a selectman meeting? One of them, the guy who took over, I can't remember his name, the guy who took over Leamington? Rick has reached out, and it sounds like he can do like really any weekday in the afternoon. And then the other one, it would be nights, like he can do nights before a selectman meeting. So I don't
Are
know.
we gonna have enough time, that's all?
Yeah, the earliest I can be here from my work is 5:30. So we can meet it, and we don't have to do both of them the same night. We can meet one 5:30 one week and one at 5:30 the next week.
Yeah.
So I can reach out to them and schedule them for 5. Does that meeting have to be, does it have to be a workshop? A selectman workshop, so.
Yeah.
I would look for a motion to have a selectman workshop on the 22nd and the 20,
December?
December?
no? January 5th and,
January for sure.
okay, all right, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. All right, we'll do, I guess so. Okay, what dates work for everybody?
I'd say like January 12th.
Okay, January 12th.
I'd give them time and you.
And what's the 19th, Martin Luther King Day, so the 12th and the 20th. I reached out to both of them and they were like ready to meet. Like I reached out Monday and they were
The
like, I can meet you
20th,
tomorrow.
We can't, that's the night, what you're gonna get to. We have our grant workshop on the
Okay.
20th at 6.
So the 12th and the 26th. And it doesn't have to be a selectman night. It can be the 12th and the 13th or.
Did you say that?
It's hard, I mean, it depends. I mean, if we have, I know I have a couple questions. I've never met Mr. Modem Waves, so
45 minutes apiece, you could do it in one night.
I figured an hour apiece.
yeah, I mean,
I'd give them
it could be
an
5 minutes apiece, huh? We could do it in one night, certainly. So I would say January 12th at 5:30 and 6, I mean, we could do 5:30 and 6:30 in the select board meeting to follow after.
Or do we want to have it a different night? Because we'll be all over budgets by then. We could meet
Yeah, we could, yeah.
on a Tuesday or any other night. And just do them both the same night, get it out of the way.
Yep. Yeah, let's do, I'd look for a motion to meet on January, I'm not gone that week. January 13th for a meeting at 6 and a meeting at 7, a select board workshop for a new system administrator
On the 13th now.
on the 13th.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be on vacation.
I mean, I'm gone the 21st of the 25th of January. Let's do, like I said, they are both ready to meet this week. So, I mean, do we want it, can we do January, oh, no, that's the week of the warrant. Oh, my Lord.
Right now, I'm looking at 5th to the 9th.
That's the week of the
Do
warrant,
the
right?
6th, you could do, I mean, but you can meet on January 6th, that's Tuesday. Like, just meet a different, you're thinking of a different night anyway.
Yeah,
We were talking either second or third week taking off, so,
okay.
but we haven't
Yeah,
made
yeah,
any
let's,
reservations, so.
I'd look for a motion for the 6th, for 2 selectmen workshops to go over the new system administrator.
So moved again.
Okay?
Fine with me.
Okay, I'll take that as a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Did you get that? Next
with
week's
it.
minutes are gonna be great. New auditing firm, the request for proposal is due next Monday.
I've gotten nothing. If you guys had any questions?
Cool.
It's not a good sign.
Cool. SOP grant update. Have you heard from the auditor at all, Gail?
I got an email last week that they were trying to put me in.
Okay. Did they give a cost estimate or no? Cool. Rec director, I covered that a little bit when we were going over the budget. The people who I reached out to were not interested anymore because it's not a full-time or part-time position. So we'll continue to advertise that, and if anybody at home wants to be the rec director, come on down. Overlook camera, that was installed today.
How is that hooked up?
Cellular. So let's take a look. Let's see who's up there right now.
Maybe Steve's up there.
Yeah, you know,
So you the new Snoop?
I guess so. Yeah. All right. If anybody needs to see, I have camera up there, tilts, zooms, up, down, records, motion.
So
I can talk through people.
So you're gonna do things?
I have better things to do than watch the security
Well, I would hope
cameras.
so.
Why did it take so long?
This is still not even the camera. This is a camera that was purchased for.
We did it separately then through our.
We did it.
camera.
This is not through Minuteman. I don't know. I don't know.
It's done, finally.
Now,
It's
that-
not done though. Well, so there's a camera up there. It's camera covered. It records motion. But the camera that the town had originally paid a good sum of money for is still not working. I wanted to get a camera up there to have coverage because it's been a while that we didn't have coverage. So the November 24th meeting, we made a motion to purchase a Reolink camera, the same camera that we have at the ball field and a camera that we have at the Boy Scout Island, and put that up there. And I am still going to work on getting the one that we paid good money for, a lot more than $170 for. We have coverage up there now, yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm still going to fight with the other company, and once we get that...
Do we need it? The other company?
I think if we can get them to fix the camera that we paid, I've heard crazy numbers what we've paid for that camera. Do we know how much we paid for it? It was a lot. It was like, I've heard like 10,000 we paid for that camera. So
11.
Yeah, and it worked for like, this was a while ago. This was before me. Yeah, I think that they need to fix it and make it work for $11,000. This is a temp. Yep, and John was working on that. John's going to send me the documents that he had, or the contact person. And if I don't have that, someone's driving Route 5 right now. John's going to send, I'm going to reach out to the company. The camera does.
I don't know why we're doing this.
I guess there's issues with vandalism up there. And that's why the camera was installed.
Well, that camera is not going to stop that vandalism.
No, but we'll be able to catch who did it.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
There was somebody caught.
Oh, I know. But
The short answer is yes, there is a camera up there, there is coverage up there, but I am not done fighting for the $11,000 camera. And we'll reuse this camera somewhere else throughout the town.
In the meantime, you can sit home and watch
In the
that.
meantime, in all my free time, I can watch who's at the Overlook, so just be careful, guys. Okay? We can take that off the...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been on the, since the 4 years I've been here, that's been on the agenda.
Came off for a little bit. All right. The YCSWCD grant. Review the list of items to pick.
What is it?
All my papers are jumbled. I'll tag Alicia on this.
Wade's got it in his hand. So, nope, the other one, you were flipping the pages. Yes. This is the $75,000 grant I'm working on. So these are the options of areas you can pick from. You can have multiple items that you use the money for. Like, it doesn't have to be one thing.
Is that this one right
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is what I had emailed you guys. So there are a few things that I've taken off the list and talked to the York County Conservative Soil Group guy that's helping me. But one would be like a stand-up generator for this building. It's hard to be the warming, cooling station if we don't have power here.
Yeah.
That's one thing that could be on the list. We could look at insulation in this building. We could look at a short-term drainage fix for out back, so we don't have water coming into the building before the paving is completed or that part. Any energy efficient upgrades to any buildings. There are a lot of things on that list. So next week, we need to have 3 to 5 things that we want to go off of. We're going to have a workshop. You get the citizens involved on January 20th at 6 p.m. So it'll be before the board meeting. Jim will run it. That will come and handle that part of it. So other towns have gotten this. You get the money. This isn't us spending the money and getting reimbursed. You get the money beforehand.
And it's $75,000?
Up to $75,000. So his other towns that he's worked with have all gotten the full amount.
Okay.
Well, I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, we don't have the money yet. Yeah.
I'm trying.
We really
So-
need to concentrate on insulation for this building.
Yeah, and you can, the point when you pick your items, if insulation is gonna be 50 grand, like we'll get to the point where we'll need to get some quotes, right?
Yeah.
Towards the projects that you're picking. These are just some of the ones that really kind of came to light when I looked through, so.
All right, so we have some homework.
Next week.
Next
3,
week,
2,
we're
5
not pushing it
things.
off.
No, you can't.
I think
We
Alicia
have
will
to-
kill me if I push off more stuff, and I don't. I like it.
We
I
have
don't like it.
to, super nice guy, so he keeps,
Okay.
the deadline
You
moving.
get everything on these things.
There are a lot of options with it, really, that you can,
Take it home and review it and pick some
I think we
options.
can Can rule out saltwater marsh migration
I
areas.
don't know. Is cameras on there?
No, I don't.
All right.
We can't decide and do siding or painting, I tried.
Okay, that is all I have for old business. Oh? What? We're not done. We're not to there yet. Almost. I have one more thing. We need to set up a public hearing for Libby Fruits LLC. This is for a liquor license?
I think you have the application, but yes, it's new. Yep. So this is the new company that's
Oh, yeah,
taking
look at
over at Libby's. And Stan said a January date was fine, so normally we hold it like 6 o'clock before a board meeting.
Okay.
I'd say the 26th,
I was gonna say, I guess I'm not good at picking dates, so.
because we can't do it on the 20th. I guess you
Yeah.
could do the 12th if that worked for them, but I bet the 26th is probably
Yeah,
a little bit more notice.
I'd look for a motion to set up a public hearing regarding Libby Fruits LLC for a liquor license on January 26th at 6 PM.
So moved.
There's a motion, is there a second?
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. No resignations this week. Discussion of agenda items, is there any? Wendy?
So for your public hearings on your budget, before it gets voted on in March, I hope you're going to have more than one, because I think that you need to give people more opportunity to speak on these items, because the last year, I think when I watched, there was only a few people in the room. And then one of my recommendations to you is all your budgets that you may have gone over as compared to last year, have an explanation sheet, kind of like similar to this, explain each article, why you went over. I used to keep track of that stuff. And then I've heard complaints about how the green sheet is done. I'm the one who reorganized this, restructured it. I never got to finish it. So there was two things that were going to happen. One, I was either to the general government, and it's broken down this way for a reason. It follows GASB, GAAP, accounting rules, where you put things in certain areas, general government, public safety. You can expand on that a little bit if you want to. You can take like the buildings out of administration, but that is a general government item. The other thing that you can do, you can take all payroll, put it into one item, it's one thing to vote on. See how I don't like that too well, but that's okay.
I don't like clustering these things.
Well, I, myself personally, like this. The reason when I was on the board, I changed it, and I know people grumbled about it.
Voted down, one of them.
Huh?
One of them got voted down because of that.
That's the way it works. Unfortunately, that's the way it works, And it was because you put in a brand-new item that no one agreed upon, $10,000 for a manager or whatever it was, or a study for a manager, and it probably should have been a standalone item, which you can stick in the bottom. And the way I structured this was to, when you're doing the work on this, putting it together, and you start pushing things around, it's best to have any new items at the end so you don't have to renumber your beginning. Okay, you can keep it the way that it is. You can, like I said, on the general government one, you can take things out like buildings, and workers' comp, things like that. You can make more sections of it, but it's more for people to stand at the booth and check off. I personally wouldn't want to vote if I had to check off 83 different items, stand there and read 83 different items, especially if I didn't get a chance to prior to.
And that's the one thing I get to complain on.
What's that?
Consolidating different areas to get down, to reduce the number of articles.
Yeah,
Some people would rather see 100 articles than 75.
not me,
But they
but
know
that's,
what they're voting on, as opposed to saying, well, there's something hidden in here that I don't like, so therefore everybody else is gonna suffer in
If
that
they-
article.
No, if they get a copy of the green sheet, which breaks everything down, tells you what you're doing when you vote, because when you put your sheet out to publish it, you have it, you just have the dollar amount, and you're saying it's going to general government, which includes selectmen and administration, tax collector, town clerk, those items. It's self-explanatory. In other towns, this is not something that I made up when I did this. I looked at other towns to see how they did things, this passed through, I went through the lawyer to go over this. And one of the things it does for you, and I can prove this if I can find my work, because people talk about carrying balances. You don't spend any more money by doing it this way than carrying balances. And one of your problems with carrying balance was that you had more special town meetings when you carried balances and raised and appropriated. Yes, you did. I can prove it to you. It's like your revenue. Say like the transfer station. She says, I'm going to carry $5,000, I'm going to raise $5,000, and I'm going to use income. I'm going to say we're going to get $5,000 in income. Well, one of the shortfalls was that expenses are always guaranteed. Revenue is not. Revenue can be up or revenue down. So you'd end up having, say the transfer station ended up, well, we didn't get $5,000. How are we going to get it? Now you're going to have to raise and appropriate $5,000 to carry that department through the rest of the year. So those are the shortfalls of carrying balances. It has some good points. You think you're not raising any more money. When you have a department head, I'm not picking on anybody, if you have someone who can work the system, they say, wow, I got $5,000 I can carry, I'm just going to pad my budget for another $5,000. And it doesn't have to be padded in one spot, it can be padded in different spots. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I think that if you give a sheet to the townspeople of what all the items that you raised, more than last year, like $5,000 or $10,000, and explain what happened. And that will
Actually a
help
good idea, yeah.
keep the doubts up.
That goes in keeping with going back to back a number of years when we used to have the book, the town reports, it was spelled out better,
What was spelled out better?
each article, so they know what they were voting on.
Well, you know what you're voting on now. When you read the article, it's telling you you're voting on general government transactions. What they get, they can come in and get the green sheet too, which is not the god of the thing. What you're voting on is that total balance or total appropriation.
Well, my point is, if the more transparent you are, what they're voting on, the more likelihood they're gonna vote for it.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
against it, for that matter. But
I don't believe this is non-transparent. I believe that the question asks you, it's a pointed question, it comes right out and asks you, do you want to raise $1 million for town clerk, tax collector, treasurer, selectmen, administrative duties? It says it right in there. And unfortunately, on the ballot sheet, they can't fit all that stuff. They could do 80 articles if you want to. That's up to you. But if you want more transparency, break out the personnel, break out payroll, break out some of these other expenses that people have questions on.
We do need to decide last March, the problem that general government did get voted down. We ended up breaking it out. So I do need to know for this, if you're lumping it back together or you are breaking it all out separately again.
So she's going to have to write 75 articles.
Yeah, it'll be a question, so each general government will be a separate question.
the
Or are you
one thing
breaking-
I would like to see is the green sheet, so to speak, line up with Trio.
When I did this, I got the general ledger from Laura, and I followed right to almost a T. We were still working on getting some of the things, like, I know that the buildings is on the general ledger is in a different spot. That can be corrected. It's easy to correct. You're already taking, copying and pasting out of what you have on the budget for site.
Does the green sheet follows the ballot? So you'd have to change the way the ballot is written?
What's that again? I'm sorry.
The green sheet follows the ballot, correct?
Yes.
So if you're moving, we would need to
When
make
you
the,
move this, you have to,
questions.
when you move this, you have to move your other two to make sure those numbers, those article numbers correspond with each other.
yes.
Because if you don't, then people are going to, they may be looking at this, but
Yeah,
when they
no,
get to vote. Yeah.
so to follow trio could be, so you're gonna have to change, well, so follow it, to change the green sheet and then change the ballot, however.
So when you say follow trio, you're saying to follow it in how she has her general ledger, how the general ledger gets posted up. For the most part, it does follow that, except there are some places where it doesn't, and it's minor. You want to make things easier for the treasurer. You don't want to have the treasurer to guess what's being done. If that she has a question about something, she should come to you and ask you. But you want it, they're going to be following this to the T, you know. And if when you punch in, so she's got an account here, account number 010304. Well, that should come right up when she's punching it in. But I'm not the data entry person.
I know when I came into office, I went to had her print out all the expenditure sheet just to see what the balance of, the budgets were plugged in. And I had to go all over that green sheet. It wasn't in a row.
No, it's not.
And
But
it's-
if you,
It's a pain in the butt to do it that way.
it's,
That's what I found anyway. I wasn't.
if you're looking at it all the time, you'll pretty much know where everything is. You know, that's what, you have to study it more. No. So you do what's easy. That person's inputting information too, and
Well,
it
my
does get
point is,
confusing.
we have a system, accounting system in place. You ought to be lining things up so it's easier to put that information in place.
Well, I've worked on accounting systems for 50 years, and none of them were lined up exactly at all. But one of the faults, I'll say, I find Trio to be a little bit of a confusing system. Too bad we didn't have our own in-house system. That would make things a lot easier. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
So you do need to decide on that.
It was a lot better back in the 90s.
Huh? Oh, yeah, when you're using an
Well, because
Abaxis.
I have to, working on this warrant, putting it together, I don't want to do it and then.
Hi.
Hi.
Gail Libby. I just want to know if we can award the bid tonight, and you'll find a place to fund it with.
I would feel more comfortable finding a place to fund it before awarding it.
Okay. So are you going to fund it through repairs and maintenance? Some of it?
I would need to look at the budget. I don't know.
Okay. And when can I tell these, both of them are asking,
I would assume by next Monday.
Next
I mean,
Monday?
the last report that I have is from the 10th, so I'm sure nothing's changed dramatically from the 10th. I would assume next Monday I can have an answer for you.
Okay, I'll tell both of them that then.
Tuesday morning, they should know. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Cheryl? What?
Citizens again, we're all done, or I'll wait?
Discussion of the agenda items, yep.
Couple of things. Now that you have voted on accepting the resignations, will there be any changes on the websites, names removed? And I noticed it was on Saco River on the beginning of the recordings last week, the names. So those names will be removed?
Yes.
Okay. Very confusing, the vote on the chief. How did that end up?
We voted to sign the contract.
Sign the contract,
Yep.
okay. How did you, and I think you, I'm not sure, but I think Wade said something about the lawyer said it was legal for you to vote?
Yep.
Okay. Remember when I gave you some paperwork the other week, last week, and, because you couldn't get it through your email, you told me to FOIA the information on to why the executive session last week was legal because you didn't have a forum?
Correct.
You told me to FOIA it? I did. And this is how it came back.
Yeah, because there's some in there that's
Yeah,
a
but it
turn.
doesn't say anything. Can you put that on the TV so everybody can see what my FOIA is? Information, okay, this way? Okay. Yes, that's right. There's just a couple of names and stuff. It doesn't say anything about, I realize things
yeah,
are
I mean, there's-
privileged. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you read every other word and it's this, reviewed, board, discussion. It doesn't say anything about it was legal to have that executive session with no quorum because you couldn't have the meeting.
Doesn't he tell you, doesn't he say to have the executive session without, I mean,
Nope.
Okay, I mean, I
Not
can-
unless they bleeped more than they were supposed to out.
I can,
thought I
mean,
was in
bleep-
Washington.
I bleeped that out, so I can
Oh,
go
well,
through
you
and,
bleeped out a little bit too much.
I don't
Okay.
think so, but I can go through and
Okay.
look.
And, so I can FOIA that to find out, because I know you've always abstained on
Yep.
different, than everybody, if it's personal or you work, even when you, at your job, when they were selling stuff, you know, realty. You would-
Yep.
So, okay. Let's see, okay, the websites will be cleaned. Vote. Okay.
All right.
Oh, one more thing about voting. Wendy, she said that she personally would rather read just what I'd rather have 107 articles. You're going to read them anyway if they're in a thing here or single here. That way it's less hassle. You can understand, you know, each individual one. But she has her opinion. I have mine. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, I don't, you know what, to each their own, that's all I have to say, to each their own.
Free country.
So we should decide how we're gonna write the warrant, so we can get started on it.
Oh, it started.
Right now, I wouldn't change it, because there's a lot of, then that's where there is.
How are you writing it?
I'm
Are
just
you
bringing
writing
it
it?
up because we had them all, we have them looped how we have them on the green sheet, you can see.
Yep.
March, there were a few reasons I feel like general government got voted down.
Yep.
For one, we had singled out the treasurer, and we had $10,000 in town manager appropriated money in one budget. So I think Wendy's right. I don't know, I could argue all day long that I don't think that it was just because we had them all lumped together. I think that those were the two big reasons. Those were two big reasons we heard about. But we ended up separating them out, and that's how they were.
Is that how you're writing
individually
them
voted
now?
on. No,
No, okay,
I
okay.
have it like it was before, but I
Okay.
need to know if you want me to separate any out, I need to know that now. I don't wanna know that in
If you
2
were-
weeks.
If you were to look on the general ledger now, you would see that plots and buildings are like, here's the general ledger, count 1, count 100. It goes, when now's buildings are part of general government, and what that means is an operational thing, it's operational expenses, it's down lower on the general ledger. So when I took the sheets from Laura, somehow I moved buildings into
Yeah.
general government because that's where they really belong in the accounting world, in municipal accounting.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
No, it's okay. It's already 10.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. I'm here.
Okay. If you take the green sheet
Yep.
and you add 2 columns to it,
Yep.
and you put in the general ledger number for each line, okay, it's doable, I've already done it. And you can copy and paste. If it's 10 times, you copy and paste and you just hit. All right, and then you sort that green sheet. You sort it right in the order that he is talking about. period. That's all you need to do to get the data entry lined up with the general ledger, so it'll be right in a line, okay? That's all you do. It's simple Excel.
Yeah.
It's simple Excel, so that's all you got to do.
Yes.
You don't need...
It's not
The
changing
general
it.
ledger is fluid. It moves
It's-
all the time, okay? You,
Yeah,
just
so
because
Excel-
that's one thing,
Yeah, but
and her is another.
what she's saying though is not, it's not changing it's just adding the columns with the numbers.
Right. And and then you sort it, and then it's in the order that she wants for her purpose. But for the people, you want it in a different order.
Well,
That's all.
That's why I was saying, I'm like, it's doing it a few different times.
And the general ledger is fluid. You change a treasurer, you change what we do here, different numbers are going to get created. And they're not going to serve her or her. They're always going to be button heads. So you just sort them.
So basically what you're saying, she can make it up her way as long as those numbers are in, and when that's all passed,
You sort it,
you
and
just
you
sort
give
it.
it to her for data entry.
Thank you. When I first created that sheet, I did that. I had the full account number all the way across the board, and it was just too much on there. And we do have a different treasurer now who does things differently. I get that, and I understand that. So I took all those account numbers out, those ones that start the 35, blah, 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 down the line. But I did at one time sort out the personnel, payroll. Everybody seems to be concerned about payroll. So I had done at one point, put payroll, so you can see everything that you're paying for that one item, payroll. But yes, it's correct. You can take
But we
that sheet.
can sort it after.
You can sort it
Yes.
any way you want to by
For
FICA,
Julie's benefit,
by.
yeah.
And you got 8 weeks to do it.
Yep, and you're doing a great job.
So do you want to leave them?
I agree with you, Gail.
Jesus, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I would like to get an answer tonight. I personally liked how it was done at the second March vote. Everything was kind of split out, but I also understand the difficulties with that.
You only split out general government though. You didn't split out the others. We only split out the one that was voted down.
We have to make sure that we don't have to have another vote because of that, everything clustered together,
Yep.
like we had last time.
Well, you may have to.
I'm sure that's why it didn't pass. Was it just the total dollar amount of that?
From what I heard from the voters, that was the big problem. They didn't understand it. Everything was grouped right together.
Well, I don't, no. I don't look at people as they don't understand what they're reading. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
And most people do understand what they're reading.
Well, they obviously didn't that time.
No, I don't know.
Well, I think it was more the other because it hadn't been a problem. So, and nothing else got voted down that's clustered together. Like there's nothing else is separated out. Like your other things are all clustered together as well.
Anytime you would introduce something brand new like that, that was a brand new thing. That was, and you already knew the opposition to a town manager by the vote of the charter, by other things, and that's probably one of the things that did it. But
I think so. That's what I agree. That's what I
and I would put that at, because the way it's structured, all the capital items go at the end. Before that was done, you were putting all the capital items in the beginning, and you had to renumber every time you did it. So if you keep it the way standard, certain parts are standard, okay, if you break it up to 80 articles, but put this new stuff at the end of the warrant.
Which is fine. You can split it, and then the thing that I like is, and you can say that you don't, but if there's one budget that goes over, you have the opportunity of using money within those lines of
That's correct.
the others. You don't have that when you split it out. You will then have, like we had special town meetings where we need to take money from this budget to move into this budget to pay for this. So that's your other thought.
Yeah, and I mean, my idea when I say split it out, I mean, the treasurer is one, the town clerk is one, the tax collector is one. Like, I'm not, but like some of them, yes, they can, some of them can be grouped together. I guess what I understand, when I say I want it split out, I want the departments to be split. I want each department to have their own question. I don't necessarily want payroll for tax collector yet, one, but, you know, FICA for tax collector, an article, a second article. Yeah.
If you want to get down and dirty, you just say, do treasurer payroll, town clerk payroll, just do the payroll portion, and then group that together what it used to be years ago, supplies all under administration or under the supplement.
But you don't group the rec department with the library.
That's part of community, that's how it works. That's
And that's how it gets voted down, too. If they don't like one, but they like the other,
They can do it, you can do it if you want to.
if it's a no vote, somebody suffers that way. But if it's broken out,
You're in control. Just remember though, when you do that.
we agree to disagree.
Oh, yes.
Did you say you had a question?
Wendy, but I still think you're wrong.
Have you considered having a special election for the 2 vacant seats temporarily to fill before March? Just a question.
No.
No?
I personally have not thought about it, no.
I mean, because there's been problems with, having to abstain and not a quorum and stuff like that. Didn't know whether it was be something that the lawyers haven't suggested it or anything.
Nope.
No. Okay. Just popped in the head.
All right. What? Yeah. Alicia, I'm sorry, but I think we can take some homework and figure out how we want to split it, come back next week with recommendations.
Yeah, as long as, yeah.
I just don't, yeah. All right.
Just we're not gonna decide on the 27th, right? You're gonna come back and be like, we're gonna do this.
I don't know, we might push it again. Is there any more discussion of the agenda items?
No.
Going once, going twice. No correspondence. I look for a motion to adjourn.
Moved. Second.
All those in favor? There's no discussion for that one.